Chapter 21, Rachel wants to be noticed. Lunchtime to me was very awkward. We were sitting on the rooftop and looking down on other students. The whole area was technically ours. No one else was there since I was in charge of the key to this place for some unknown reason. As I looked at the sky above my head, I could see a captivating blue, coupled with a few patches of white cotton balls. Those cotton balls would move ever so slowly because they were patient, giving me a sense of peacefulness and tranquility. But most prominent of all in that blue canvas was a yellow ball of light, shining down its radiance to warm up the earth. Occasionally, my skin would be caressed by the gentle yet cooling wind. The breeze, which existed only at that location, was something both soothing and comfortable at the same time. It was simply perfect. Too perfect. The rooftop was a beautiful place. Just like how a painting should be. Be as flawless as it was, I noticed an odd occurrence. Except for the setting sun, the clouds moved in the same pattern. Always. The scenery above my head kept repeating the same thing rather than having it totally random, similar to how actual clouds should be. Not only that, but the wind was no different. The time between each breeze was the same. No more, no less. It was then that I was sure that guy was not crazy. The truth was Rachel, was inside a game where I had to share my love with an unknown number of crazy female heroines. There was only one person who knew that before me, and that was a person called Classmate C. I should be feeling mad. I should have either laughed out loud or gone into a crazy berserk state. Who in their right mind would ever want to share their boyfriend with someone else? But I did not. At least, I did not think about those thoughts of my own volition. I was forced to do so. Han was my childhood friend. That was the premise of the story. With our families living next to each other, we basically spent our entire childhood with one another, never to be separated. Throughout all the years of my memory, we have had quite a history together. There was even a promise of getting married in the future. By now, that promise would be near worthless. I knew absolutely everything about him, from his way of speaking, his habits, to his favorite porn, everything. Sadly, I knew those things because it was forced down on me, not because I wanted to. My feelings for Han were so intense, to the point of being impossible. Whenever I was with him, I felt that my chest was overflowing with happiness even when Han was not doing anything. It was always bursting with joy for no reason. The sensation inside my chest was suffocating. As long as I was able to meet Han, it was okay. I loved him. I really did. Although it was fake, it was pure, unadulterated love. There was also a constant drive within me that pushed me towards Han. Anything that I did was to please him and him only. If I had to make a guess, I would say the system of this game was to blame. However, to be completely honest, if not for C, I would have followed the system until the very end. Classmate C still had not realized that his thoughts could generate actual scenes inside my head. Unbeknownst to the guy, he could project his thinking and make others live those experiences again. The scenes he talked about were ever so vivid in front of my very eyes. It opened up with Han and me lying on his bed at night. I saw the Rachel, who was brutally butchering her alleged love with a kitchen knife because he cheated on her. That Rachel, who was plunging her shiny knife into Han's chest while pleasuring herself with his limping penis, was a monster. A monster created by the system with the intent to finish the plot, nothing else. Never could I have ever done something so heinous. I was sure of it. I could never do that to my love, no matter how painful it was. And when I realized that my life has been a character for the main protagonist to conquer, I felt like a whore. Even more so, I offered myself to Han. No. The word offer is not correct. I forced myself on Han, someone who would never be able to be loyal. Of course, I doubted the reliability of that. However, things got clearer after seeing Laura. I saw myself feeding her the paper knife. The feelings inside of my head were divided into two sides. One side was still unrivaled love. I could not help it. Years of loving someone cannot be thrown away in less than a day like so. Still, the other part of me was clearly disgusted. There was no need to delve into the loving side. The system wanted me to love Han, so it forced all of the necessary feelings into my head. I was exactly how a goose on a foie gras farm would be. Everything was about Han. I must wake him up in the morning, make him breakfast, and do his laundry while he was sleeping until late. In my mind, there was only one schedule. His. As for the other side, it just started to pop out this morning. I never doubted anything until I met C at the school gate and heard his thoughts. He was the voice of reason I never knew I needed. It is hard to explain, but I had two distinctive feelings happening at that moment. Probably that was how people with split personalities would feel. With all that said, I started to distance myself from Han and paid more attention to C. Rachel. Having C close by would be a tremendous help in almost anything this world had to offer. Unfortunately, I could not. The forces of this world shut me off even before asking him. Honestly, I am so fed up with losing control over my body. I could hardly do anything other than what the script guides as if it was not my own. Especially when classmate C was not around, the situation was even worse. His abilities had a distance limit. Before hearing C's thoughts, I was Han's loyal subject. Maybe in the past trials of the game, I was really his love slave. I was reconsidering it, albeit just a little. I wanted to break free. Rachel? Are you okay? Han came close to me. His face was full of worries. Was that really him talking? Was that really him caring for me? Or was it just the program talking? It pained me if the latter was correct. No. Nothing. I'm fine. How is the lunchbox? I stacked quite a lot of your favorites in there. I smiled at him. My voice was a little high-pitched, just like how a girl in love should be. I was a natural. Still, I did not want to talk. The mood between us was romantic because of the game, not thanks to Han or me. In fact, I was trying to think on my own. Some peace and quiet would be greatly appreciated. Han used his chopsticks to grab a piece of fried chicken. Oh. Don't worry. It was you who made my lunch. I would eat it every day if I could. Then eat a lot. We have work to do tonight. I said. Yes, ma'am. He was not thinking of anything out of the ordinary. It made sense. But no. I did not want to do any kind of work tonight. According to C, I would drug Han and force myself on him. Then I would change and become what he had been complaining, a Yandere. Even if I still harbored feelings for my childhood friend, it was not up to the level where I would do such a thing right now. Until I was completely sure Han was someone I truly had feelings for, I would not give my chastity. No matter what, I needed to screw the night up for good. C must be with me, at least for tonight. Chapter 22, Rachel's Memory Outburst. When I got back to the classroom, I was attacked with a piece of mind-boggling news. Almost immediately, my already unstable mental state decreased even worse. Laura confessed her feelings to C while I was gone. She did it first. At the same time as I was forced to have lunch by the system, Laura advanced. The audacity of the class representative. And he accepted it? Knowing that, my whole body grew stiff as a stone right then and there. If not for the system pushing me forward, I would have stood dead still at the doorway like a statue. In the middle of my chest, there was a bursting sensation. Pain. Burning, tearing pain. Why? How come there was pain? Where did that ache come from? Did I get some kind of disease I did not know about? Was there something that C did not know also? A medical condition, perhaps. Too docile, as a matter of fact. My eyes glanced at C, who was thinking of me. I was not being docile, C. I just did not know what to do in this situation. Look away, C. Act like you do not care. His eyes darted forward the moment they met mine. Once again, I felt a part of me being ripped apart. No. Please, do not look away. I needed you. Huh. Wait a minute. What was I doing? Thinking like that? What was wrong with me? Most importantly, why was my misery directed at that faceless person? Why not Han, but for him? Han was a more suitable choice, was it not? He was good-looking, lived next to me, and shared everything together with me. He was supposed to be with me, right? Everything that was forced onto me was only for that purpose. Everything, including the memories of us. All those memories of us being side by side. Fake, fabricated memories. It felt real, so real in my head. Then why was my heart feeling so painful for hearing about C's confession? When I thought of C, my vision became blurry. Not just that, it resonated with something in my head. Why do I have a bunch of fog next to the memories of Han? What was the reason for this mist of something clouding up more than half of my mind? Questions upon questions piled up. The whats, the whys, the whos kept accumulating with no signs of stopping. Unfortunately, none could answer them for me. Instantly, blackened rage and unequal sadness consumed me from the depth within my being. Inside the chest, my heart kept beating harder and faster than ever. Even with Han, my heart had never lost its control like that. It was such intense wrath that I never knew I could have. With that bad news, I was expecting to have no strength. Contrary to my belief, the power swelling through my bloodstream because of my anger was incomprehensible. The state of despair was no longer apparent since I had another goal. Clenching my fists tightly, I regained my posture thanks to the boiling blood running through me. That surge of energy was so drastic I felt I could crack the neck of Laura like snapping a twig. Yes, I wanted to destroy Laura. I wanted to see that bitch bleed through her entire body. The color of red would match her brown hair and eyes, would it not? Why would I want to do that was not in my mind. Carnage. I craved carnage. Still, it would be so simple since I was already at the entrance. Laura was sitting in the front row of the class, so my job was already done by a half. All I needed was to come close to the class rep, extend my arms and strangle her until that whore's eyes turned white. Or perhaps I could do one even better. C did say something about me forcing Laura to eat her own paper knife, did he not? What if I do that at that instance? No need to wait until she had sex with Han, right? There was no way she would be having sex with my childhood friend. She had already confessed her feelings to C. I could just end her disgusting life just like what C wanted. However, there was no explanation for that. I simply did not understand why I was so desperate for someone who had almost no relation to me. Still, it was extreme. After hearing his thoughts about the confession, I sank to the bottom. I am despicable. I really am. Despite having a loved one inside my head, I kept thinking about someone else. How shameful could a person possibly become? How more disgusting could I be? And yet, I could not help it. Because of the split personalities inside of me, I could not control my emotions. All this morning, I was paying more attention to C than to my childhood friend, whom I was supposed to adore with my entire being. Rather than giving Han all of my undivided feelings, I split them in half. My body was clearly divided into two parts. My head was always thinking about Han, but my chest felt warm just by looking at C for some unknown reason. There was no mistake that the love for Han I was experiencing was forced. Nonetheless, it existed. Then what about the feelings I had for C? Irk. I wanted to clutch my heart, but I could not. Why her? Why her? Why not me? Why was it always her instead of me? You should have paid attention to me first. Suddenly, everything in front of me changed. I was not sitting in the class anymore but standing in front of C in the storeroom. Why do you stand in my way? I asked him. My voice was colder than ice. To be more precise, my lips moved on their own. I was only observing the scene. Don't go in there if you don't want to get hurt. C blocked the whole door with his entire body. A knife appeared in my hand, and I placed it on his neck. It was so sharp just a slight touch caused C to bleed already. Out. No. Chick. My knife plunged deep into his carotid artery with no hesitation. However, despite the gurgles, he did not fight back. C's featureless face got more pale as he slowly sat down. He was ready for death. He was ready to die for her. The scene changed for the second time. And this time, it was at the school gate. Strangely, there were just C and me. Listen to me, Rachel. What you are feeling right now is forced. These emotions are not coming from your heart. If you want freedom, you need to break it. Han is not really your childhood friend. He is not even human. Irritated, I shouted at him. Ridiculous. I did not go out here just to hear crap from you. Do not disrespect Han like that. Right after that, I stormed back into the school. You are planning to drug him tonight. Whoosh. I turned my head back. How did you know that? There was a sense of disbelief in my voice. Well, my voice. C continued despite my abnormal state. I also know that you will give your virginity to him. Impossible. My hands clenched tightly, and my face twisted into a deformed shape that I could not see. Rachel would have probably driven it into his chest if a weapon was available. Trust me, Rachel, I know more about you than you think. Goo bang. Arg. C groaned out from the pain. Rachel charged at C, slamming his head against the metal gate behind him. A loud banging could be heard, and I could see the blood running down C's shirt. Are you some kind of stalker? You were wrong to surrender yourself like this. I asked. I could have you arrested right now. But C did not answer the question given to him. You like orange chicken? Keeping his voice as calm as possible, C started to talk about me, Rachel. Big deal. Any stalker could have done something like that. I scoffed. He continued his monologue as if stating truths. You like to have a tidy room. Who doesn't, you damn stalker? Now answer me. If it was a stressful day, you would use the bath for at least an hour. And you take at least 3 showers a day. You secretly want to watch the drama on TV, but Han prefers anime, so you do that with him. Cakes and sweets are never your favorite. But you have to eat them because Han likes them so much. Every morning, you have to do about 5 kilometers to keep yourself in shape. The grip on my hand tightened. You know deep down Han does not love you. He has never shown you anything other than a friend, and you doubted his love. You would be correct, Rachel. Han never did. He never will. That is in his nature. He was programmed to be like that. Shut the fuck up. Bam. Once again, I slammed his head on the metal gate. Only this time, I did it with much more force. Behind C, the metal was drastically bent. Which is why you wanted to drug him like that. Classmate C tried his best to maintain his stance. Still, he was about to lose consciousness because of the damage. You're lying to me. Bam bam bam. C took all of the beatings on himself and never resisted. As I continued to bash his head against the metal, blood had already sprayed everywhere. Stop. Please. Stop this madness. You like to have 2 kids. The future home for your family must have a garden with white flowers. You aspire to become a housewife, but your dream has always been a chef. Who told you these things? Slap. The other me was filled with rage. But the current me was filled with warmth and shame. Because I had never told anyone else other than Han those things. Yet he never really cared to remember. That childhood friend of mine only knew the things he wanted to. He did not even care for our promise in the past. Not that it mattered anymore. All that time, I was putting a target on someone who would ditch me the moment he saw someone else. Why are you doing this? State your goal. I screamed at C, who was struggling to stand still. His entire body was shaking at this point. You won't believe me. He had no face, but I felt the bitterness in his words. Give it to me straight before I end your pathetic life. I want you to be free. What the fuck is that supposed to mean? I want a companion. After that, C's body grew limp as he slumped down. He died by my hands for the 2nd time. 3rd, 4th, 5th. I saw C's trying to help me realize I was in a game. Not once did it work. Because I did not listen to him, I let myself be vulnerable. Han cheated on me. Again. And again. And again. Before that, C would appear to stop me from going overboard with the drug. It almost always ended in his death. Yet he kept trying. I asked myself, why would you try so hard? In one of the iterations, he answered me out of pure coincidence while talking to another me. I have not felt the warmth of being in love. However, I have seen you girls cry and suffer because of one guy. You will not stop hurting and killing one another if you are still tied to this wretched game. For one, I would like to see you have a free will of your own, just like mine. The tragedy is already too much for me to handle. I wish I could see you have a good ending just this time. My purpose is questionable and hard to achieve. This should be the nightmare difficulty of the game, even. I don't know whether or not this would work. I could only try. Be free, Rachel. Be free. Sacrificing his own life, C tried 100, then 1,000, then I lost count. He did them all with just one purpose, free will. I was taken back to the classroom with tears on my face. To my right and at the far side of the class, there was C. The guy was still fixing his gaze forward. Very quickly, I wiped my face off. I was not letting C see what had been going on with me. If he decided to suicide, I might have my memories erased. He succeeded. This time, I had free will. The first thing I needed to do was to get rid of Laura. As I turned my eyes at the class rep, I saw her looking back at me. Laura must have paid attention to me from the moment I entered. To be honest, it made sense. I was behaving weird, anyway. And C's thoughts were probably known to her as well. Her eyes were showing signs of threat to me. Somehow, she knew. I smiled. She smiled. Only one of us could come out of this alive. Chapter 23, I have a change of heart. All rise. Bow. The whole afternoon session ends quite eventless. Well, almost. Except for the occasional dangerous glances coming from the heroines, especially the class rep and the childhood friend, I have been able to enjoy my alone time. Those have certainly become rarer and rarer in just one day. Would you believe all those events have happened in just a day? It certainly has felt like more than that to me. If an author takes time to write my story, it will probably need around a month just to get to this point. Eek. How long has it been since the last time I could enjoy being behind the curtain? Even without eyes, tears can still manifest themselves on my face magically. Do not question them, please, I really have no idea where they come from. Honestly, I wish I could have more alone time until Han finally makes it to the end of the story. Sadly, that will not be the case. One of the heroines will eventually get their hands on him before he can finish anything, ending his life. As a matter of fact, I am more curious about how he will die this time than hoping for a win. A new killing method will be greatly appreciated. Everything has been a little stale these past few trials. Talking about Han, I need to check. Our main character is sleeping safely and soundly on his chair. All according to the schedule. Besides me, who deliberately tries to stick to the storyline, only he and Kurikawa are trustworthy right now. Lying on the desk with his face in his arms and drooling on one side, the guy must be having a good dream. Damn, he is just so carefree. I am kind of envious of that. Ignorance really is bliss. But just that carefree part only. I am not envious of Han's fate. Not at all. Still, you have to really give it to this man. Missing out on all the signals sent from his childhood friend is already an achievement. Then again, if someone was throwing me signals, I would think that they were being kind or considerate only. Unless that someone throws themselves onto me just like what Laura did, never would I have guessed they had feelings for me. That is all because I am a complete jackass to things like love. Reality is often disappointing, is it not? However, things are different now. Very much different. Rather than having my free time waiting until Han gets himself killed, now I am affiliated with one of the crucial side characters. Even more so, that side character is supposed to jumpstart the main plot. Laura, oh Laura. Wherefore art thou Laura? That is Shakespeare's, by the way. What are you thinking? Speaking of the devil. I thought you had a council meeting. My face turns to the class rep standing just inches away from me. At that moment, I catch an alluring sight. Laura tilts forward slightly with her head leaning a little to the left. Not just that, she uses her hand to brush her hair behind her ears, showing me the most feminine side of her. And instead of maintaining her usual serious look, Laura has a faint smile at the corners of her lips. Thanks to that, she appears to be more of an enhanced version of her past self to me. I cannot describe it very clearly since it is a subtle change. Although I guess a suitable euphemism would be a transformation of the class rep's aura. From being a prisoner, she is free. What a weird feeling. What am I even talking about? Laura is just beautiful. That is basically it. She is simply captivating, so much that I forget to breathe. Not that I need to, though. Be a dump. No. Not you. Do not beat faster, you dumbass. She is not someone we can be aiming for. Be a dump. I know she is pretty, but she is not ours. Listen to me, heart. We must not get too attached to any girls in this world. They are either going to die or be utterly mad. Do you want to get broken or what? PFT. Why do you keep staring at me like that? Is there ink on my face? Laura tries to hide her laugh with her hand. Why the frick are you so cute? Be a dump. Bad heart. Bad. No. Eh. What is Laura doing? Suddenly, she comes close to my ears. I can actually feel her warm breath on my face as she whispers. If you so desperately want to know more about me, I can always help you with a private lesson. Just the two of us. I have goosebumps all over my body because of that. Sprowing. Inside my pants, something is rising, and it is not a particular hero holding a shield. Be a dump. Do not pump more blood down there, god damn it. I would hate for you to lose your precious time on someone like me. I heard that Han has been having a tough time with his studies since he slept all the time. Why don't you go Boda, help him. Nice, see, passing the ball to the main character is always better. Although I feel a bit of loss and guilt inside for pushing Laura away, the story has to continue. Sorry, class rep. Maybe we can be together in another life. How long until that is not an answer I can give you. Ugh. This feels really bad, but I need to be stern to reject Laura and bring the story back on track. I am such an asshole. To all men out there struggling to have a girlfriend, I apologize. Don't say it like that. Laura raises her voice at me. There is a particular sense of urgency in the way she talks. Quite strange, if I am being honest. Startled, I just stare at her, not saying a word. My body clearly moves a little further away from her. I did not think she would lose her composure because of me. At that instance, Han, Rachel, and Kurikawa instantly pay attention to my location. Sorry. That was rude of me. The class rep looks at me apologetically. Then she stares directly at my face with a sharp look. Nonetheless, I am not looking forward to being with anyone else except you, see. Please understand that. It pains me that you try to group me with someone else. I do not feel so good either, really. Understood. I apologize. I bow my head down slightly toward Laura. After so many resets, this is the first time I have had someone to talk to. And now, for the sake of the plot, I am abandoning them. Am I going to let Laura experience the pain I have felt all these years? I cannot do it. The loneliness kills people, literally. I know that feeling very well and how depressed it can be. Don't worry, see. We have lots of time together from now on. You will not be alone as long as I am here. The smile comes back to Laura's face, radiating its magnificent shine. To be able to witness this smile, I am really blessed. After Laura finishes her sentence, I feel a warmth inside my chest, even though not quite sure why she emphasized it. Nevertheless, it did not stop me from being delighted. The tears once again manifest themselves on my blank face. And I can very clearly feel them running down my cheeks. It is heartwarming. You have no idea how much that means to me, class rep. With arms behind her, Laura smiles brightly. Her chestnut hair sways softly with the motion of her body. Trust me, see. I have at least a small idea of how you feel. Really? Doubtful, I ask. I'm not saying anything. You have to get the words out from my own mouth. Right, everything is not the same. But this difference is what I desperately need. For ages, I have craved such straightforward words. For ages, I wanted to have someone I could really talk to. Someone unbound, unburdened, free from the system itself like me. A friend, a companion. The current bug has helped me achieve just that. Then I will change the plan slightly. Rather than forcing Laura on Han, I will try to help her without messing up the story. As long as the story progresses how it should be, we should not have another reset. Here, let me help you get up. Laura extends her hand. Thanks. I reach for Laura. Feeling the soft hand of the class representative, I am immediately filled with gratitude. It keeps building and building until a certain breaking point. Like a glass too full of water, the feelings inside my heart overflow. At that moment, the corners of my mouth twitch and move to the sides. Gasp, gasp, gasp. I can hear people gasping for air. Most prominently would be the person holding my hand. Look at you, see, smiling from ear to ear. You are so handsome. Laura looks at me with bewildered eyes. There is only the reflection of me inside of those hazel-colored irises. I would not say that, haha. It is a bizarre feeling, but I do not hate it. Because this is the first time ever, I can feel myself smiling. Thank you, Laura. I clench my hand tightly, and the other hand does the same thing. Laura opens her wonderful lips. From there come the best words I have ever dreamt of hearing. I'm here now. Truly, thank you. Chapter 24, Kurikawa is on the stage. I could not take my eyes away from him. It was just impossible to do so. No matter how hard I tried, I still could not help but look at C. From the start to the finish of today's study session, my attention had been on a particular faceless individual and his inner thoughts. Because my bangs were in the way, I had a limited visual field that could only make out one figure. And that lonely figure was none other than his. Far on the right side of the classroom, where no one else but the shadow people existed, C sat alongside them. Contrary to my location, which was right next to the window with a fantastic view, he only had a bland white column on his right. While I could freely enjoy the sight of the fluttering sakura petals when the time comes, C would not have any changes. And even at this time, when there were no flowers, I could still feel the nice breeze that occasionally came. Over on his side, there was nothing. His position and Han's position had stark differences. C had to sit in a place without anything and anyone remotely human. On the other hand, Han could enjoy his life to the fullest behind my back with Rachel by his side. As for C, he was the furthest from the rest of us. Even Laura was closer to us than to him. One was the nucleus of this world. Everything was created and built just for him. The other was a fodder character whose destiny was to become a nobody. Isolation. It was the one word that came to my mind when I first thought about C. He did not have a friend to talk to nor anything to do. I thought he was always bored since he could not stop talking in his head. Or even worse, he was lonely. And probably discussing with invisible readers was the only way for him to maintain his sanity. I could understand that quite easily, to be honest. What else could he possibly do when around him were beings that could not converse in the slightest? If I were in his position, there would be a high chance of me getting broken beyond repair. Despite the dreadful outcome that could have happened to him, classmate C was still not showing any signs of madness. How did you even manage that, C? Sometimes, the guy would glance over here at my side to check. Without any facial expressions, I could still make out a sense of curiosity in him. Of course, his face would then meet either mine or Rachel's. I did not think he could see my eyes because of the bangs, but Rachel probably had something for him in store. Because right upon catching a glimpse of Rachel's eyes, C would scream inside his head out of fear and divert his gaze forward. It was just as he said. Eyes forward, dick downward. A vulgar sentence, there was no doubt. Yet it created such a nostalgic feeling deep in my heart. He was so funny that I could not help but laugh a couple of times while hitting my desk, which caused him to pay attention to me. For real, though, how could I have taken all of that shenanigans with a straight face? Everything he said and did was hilarious and adorable at the same time. One might call it cringy, even. Not just once that I had to withhold my laughter with everything I had. However, everything had its merits. Behind that humorous personality was something else. Underneath all the jokes and the ridiculous advice was someone who did not even notice the true desperation they were dealing. Just some attention from Laura, and she had made him baffled beyond his comprehension. His wit was a facade, a curtain to hide a prisoner, himself. Classmate C was a prisoner because of his free will. Such irony. Such a ridiculous irony this world had created. C gained sentience, but that sentience became a prison cell. In his own words, he had been through countless resets. How many years, decades, centuries have you been sitting there, C? For how long had you been seeing the same script happening over and over and over again? What did you feel when there was no hope at all? How long had it been for him to suffer that on your own? So much so that you could only care about the story rather than yourself? Through his inner voice, no matter what kind of emotions he had, I could still make out a hint of depression and sadness. It did not make any sense to me. I was not supposed to worry about classmate C. According to the script, the man I should vouch for was behind me. Yet my heart ached tremendously seeing C being isolated away like that. His actions told me the story of someone who had not received actual interactions in a long time. He was jumpy and was easily startled when things did not go according to his memories. That gave me a glimpse of him always following the main storyline like a puppet. For someone with their own free will, he got imprisoned by this game. C's thoughts told me the story of someone who got cut off by the world, a background character. He must have changed, somehow. I do not believe he had always been following the script. But now, the faceless guy only wanted the story to progress. There must have been a big event that drove him to this state. Why would he want the story to continue? Why did he think of helping Han to complete the main objectives while being only a background character? Why did he not try to achieve his happiness? Was there a deeper meaning in the way he had been behaving? Questions were abundant in my chest. I wanted to get close to him. I wanted to ask him these questions to satisfy my curiosity. Personally, C was comparable to a unique, never-before-seen novel. I would open him up as soon as I got the chance to binge read everything from cover to cover. Unfortunately, I doubt it would ever happen. Although C called me a bookworm, I could not read my books nor focus on the lessons. One time, I even got my book flipped on the wrong side without knowing. Without C's thoughts, I would not have noticed that embarrassing thing. At first, I did not believe my eyes at all. A person without a face, yet I felt nothing strange about him. It was as if everything should have been like that, a bizarre feeling but also familiar at the same time. There was no need for me to care or to argue so much. It just felt right. He was like that because it was normal. Very shortly, I was unknowingly attached to C, more so than to my destined partner, who was sitting behind me. The connection I had thinking about that faceless individual was vastly different than thinking about Han. My feelings were smooth and straightforward, with no forced emotions when C was in my mind. However, the same thing did not exist for the male protagonist of this story. When I was thinking of C, I had a pleasing feeling of nostalgia. Similar to reading a book or a novel that has all of my favorite tags. As for Han, rather than a good novel, he was more comparable to educational material. Personally, Han was a physics or a chemistry book that I had to learn, not to read with enjoyment. Things I know about Han were facts, not beliefs. Thoughts after thoughts, events after events, with the help of C's inner voice, I started to grasp my situation. It was surprising. I would not lie about that. In my opinion, one would expect to have a nervous breakdown if one were under my circumstances. I figured Laura and Rachel had had to take some time adjusting to the news as it was something unbelievable. Fortunately, since I was the bookworm in his words, I was already prepared to some extent to face such a harsh reality. I might have read many dark fantasy novels about reincarnation and systems, or at least the game I was living in gave me more mental power. In addition, there was a feeling deep inside of my chest calling me to approach C. That feeling was not subtle, not at all. For some reason, I yearned for him. I needed C desperately. I wanted to protect him, to keep him safe from harm, from the others. Seriously, who could ever believe I would feel such intense emotions for just a classmate? I had no recollection of him, but there I was, bickering with Laura over some discussion they had in class. That had to be me, I unconsciously screamed within my mind. At one point, I heard these sentences. The loneliness kills people, literally. I know that feeling very well and how depressed it can be. The scene in front of my eyes changed. I was still in the classroom, but everything was off. C was sitting further away, looking at us talking to each other with his featureless face. Laura was not with him. Instead, there was a vase of flowers on her desk. In addition, we were not in our normal uniforms. Everyone was dressed in black. On the board in front of our class were these words. In memorial of our class representative, Laura. Chapter 25, It is a Sin. Laura was dead. Judging by the look of the outfit C had, we were there in the classroom for the class representative memorial, not for study. Our trusted class rep had gone deep under the ground for real. That said, the chances of Han's childhood friend being the killer were undisputed. According to C, who suffered countless resets, Laura was supposed to die at that woman's hands. Always. If things were going to what C had seen in those trials, then the scene I was seeing should be after the first official meeting of the main cast for maybe a few days. The memorial should follow the conflict between Laura and the school bully, which led to her death in the storage room with Rachel as the main culprit. And if my memories served me right, Rachel forced Laura to eat her paper knife. That kind of pain made me curious. How much damage would that kind of torture inflict upon my body? How would my throat be destroyed and my insides shredded? How painful would it be? Nonetheless, It did not matter too much at that point since my mood was good just from seeing Laura's demise. Knowing that the class rep was no longer a burden, I felt a sense of relief as if I was able to get rid of heavy weights on my back. Good riddance. She disappeared, and that was a good thing. Oh, how I wish for that to be the truth. Sadly, what I was probably was one of the previous runs that C always had to be the background character. Everything that I saw was not real. No matter how much I prayed, it was still not the world I was familiar with. Because there was another me, sitting next to Han and reading a book, rather than Rachel herself. The childhood friend was somehow gone, and her seat was taken by the other me. Hey, Kurikawa. Han called my name. He had to shout a little through the unintelligible noise of the class to make the other me look up from her book. I looked at him, and the other me also did the same thing. With the bangs blocking, I could not make out other me's facial expressions that much. Yet there was still a clear distinction between her and me. The way she talked. Didn't I tell you to call me Kuro? Better yet, call me something worse. Pig or worm would be sufficient. Gentle, caring, and full of ecstasy in her voice, the other me was obviously in a trance. I was simply disgusting. Was that how I acted in front of Han? Asking to be despised? Looked down upon? How could I be such a shameless woman? Most importantly, what happened that led to the perverted me? I refused to believe that I was just a born pervert. I was simply curious. That was it. The main protagonist waved his arms to hide his embarrassment. His face turned into a slightly red color. I just did not like that look on him. A grown man, acting like a little girl, how was that attractive? And no. I could never do that. Keikuro. I can't disrespect you like that. Other me closed the book she was reading and focused on Han intensely. Hey, Han, don't worry. Everything is fine. You can do whatever you want to me. Oh, of course not. You gave me a place to stay for the last couple of days. You even helped me with food and everything. I can never treat you so rudely. Last couple of days? So it had been a while since Laura died. What about Rachel? Where was she? Don't mention it. You are my savior. Don't you ever forget about that. I will always help you out, with a very particular price. I. The main protagonist could not say a word and tried waving at his friends to get help. The other me was practically ignoring everyone else in the class to fawn over Han at this point. She did not even care for the people around her. Well, technically, except for classmate A and classmate B, who chose to talk to one another to escape the conversation, there were only the shadow people and C. So from what I could gather, Han did not get killed by Rachel in the last couple of days because she disappeared. On the other hand, the guy was still alive and kicking, thanks to me giving him a place to hide. And there was some kind of saving event that had happened. I wondered how we got together. C had not mentioned that at all. All the time, that faceless guy had been saying things about me not being a member of importance on the first day. That made me furious. I should be crucial to him, too. Sigh. Not to mention there was no inner voice of C in my mind. Being in the past iteration of C, he either did not think or could not project his thoughts onto others. With no clues on my hands, I could only presume that saving event to be the one that would happen on the second day. Finally, Han could say something. I am sad to hear about Laura's death. Other me nodded slightly, then returned to Rachel's desk to enjoy the book. It seemed she lost interest in the topic. I don't know why she was gone so suddenly. We just had SE. I mean, we were pretty close to each other. The guy continued. His eyes turned down, and he appeared to be in distress. She was so young. Who could have done such a thing? Han said to himself. Despite his words, I did not catch any misery coming out of him. The phrases were full of sadness, yet they started with the pronoun of I. That could have meant only one. He cared more about a one-time fling with Laura than her life. That was not sadness. It could have been anything but sadness. I could not care less about Laura. Still, Han was quite heartless. Although, his feelings were more or less justifiable. He saved her, and she offered herself as compensation for his efforts. Everything between the two of them was a transaction. Han did not have any feelings for Laura, so there would be no way he could feel dreadful because of losing her. They were never anything in the first place. I would disagree that Han would go as far as saying I love you to her. Never would that ever happen, at least not to someone like Laura. Rattle. The door suddenly opened, and everyone stood up as a shadow teacher walked into the class. He then proceeded to make gibberish noises to gather attention. After that, he walked out, followed by the rest of the class. Let's go to the memorial, Kurikawa. It is held in the gym. Han told the other me. I know. With the eyes still attached to the book, the other me replied. Soon, the classroom became empty. Everyone was gone. Except for one person, C. The only student to stay was him. No one paid any attention to C. No one called him. Not a tap on the shoulder, not a yelling to the face. The students all walked by his desk and disappeared out of the door. Just like how a background should be, he was ignored by others. Rattle. As the last one exited, C stood up from his desk to approach Laura's desk. Unconsciously, I started to walk close to him. I thought that I would be able to make out his expressions if I got close enough. He proved me wrong. Did you see how he treated your death? No one answered. Do you think it has been a good trade? Your life for his despicable love. Still, dead silent. When everyone was gone, the room was no longer rowdy. The usual unintelligible noise of people had disappeared. There was only silence that enveloped every corner of the classroom. A silence so calm and so dreadful that my soul felt cold. Whenever C talked, I heard his echoes, and that was it. It was just him. Why are you people so stupid? Giving him everything just so he could throw it all away because of his indecisiveness. Stupid. Dumb. Out of your mind. C shouted. His voice was so utterly broken. You, Kurikawa, Rachel, everyone else. Do you have any idea that you kept dying over and over and over again? All because of one man. His hand was on her table. The other one was pointing at each of us respectively. I had no idea what kind of expression he was making at that moment. But tears were running down his face. My mouth was sealed shut. No sound could escape from my throat. As for my touch, it did not work in any way. I did not make any noise, nor could I feel him. It was clear that I was put here to observe. And it tore me apart. If I could, I would hug him. In fact, I was already doing so. Yet sadly, my warmth could not be transferred to his heart. C did not notice me. Years, after years, after years. Constantly seeing you girls dumping your lives is not a good thing. Why can't you just work with me for once? Bam. He slammed his fist onto the metal desk. Just break out of it once. I was out. I really was. Bam. Watching you guys fuck is not good for me. No need to do that anymore. Bam. Just fucking break out of this fucking game for once. Please listen. Bam. Give me a fucking will to live, won't you? Bam. My vision was blurry. Already, I was looking through a mist. The two sides of my face were wet from my own tears. The shadow people would not notice me. And you people will always return to the script no matter how desperate I am. Why did I have to be the different one? Why did I have to suffer all of this on my own? How long until this torment ends? Bam. For what inhuman crime did I do to deserve this? Why me? Sorry, we could not help you. Why? 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 C puts his hands on the head, tugging his messy hair as he knelt down. Just kill me. Just kill me already. I cannot live like this. You were not alone, C please, you were not alone. Slam. C opened the door and ran as fast as he could. Because of the difference in physique, I had a hard time catching up with him. Weirdly enough, I could see his direction even when he got out of my sight. He was heading for the roof. No. No. Rattle. Fuck. It's locked. Thank God. Guess I'll have to break it myself. But C was thin, he could never have the strength to do it. I was confident he would lose his anger after hitting it a few times. Bam 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 bam. Very quickly, he once again proved me wrong. C was weak physically. That part was correct. And I was wrong about the grief he had bottled up all those times. Soon after, his fists were totally disfigured. The bones inside of them were shattered beyond fixing. Not only that, but blood had smeared all over the place, making him stumble many times. C still did not quit. The pain only angered him further. Without arms, he started to use his legs. Asterisk bang. Asterisk. With a loud breaking sound, the hatch of the door opened. The rooftop was in front of his face. No. Don't. It took C 4 seconds to reach the edge. Those 4 seconds were devastating to my heart. He jumped. Without any hesitation, C jumped. I watched in pure horror and despair as his frail and bloody body dived down with absolutely no power to change his fate. I tried to reach out to him. He did not see me. I tried to hold his fragile arms. He did not feel me. I tried to shout he was not alone. He did not hear me. That was the life he had been living. That was the life we had been forcing on him. Eternal loneliness, eternal isolation, eternal pain. It is a sin for me to ever fall in love. Those were the last words he uttered. Chapter 26, Is it really true that more people is better? Tired of waiting, Laura gently grabs me by the arm and pulls me out of my seat. Come on, C. Let's go home together. Because of her pull, Laura's face is now in front of mine. Okay. Startled, I reply without any thinking. I have never paid attention to her pupils. Have they always been that large? Truth be told, they are captivating. And my entire faceless reflection is visible inside of them from this angle. They say the pupils enlarge when someone is looking at something they like. Whether or not that is real is beyond me. Even though I am certainly not a scientist, I will be delighted if it is true. Because we are close, I can see that the person grabbing my arm has a light blush on her face. How do I look? She asks. The pink is getting more prominent on her cheeks. Beautiful, gorgeous, and charming, all these adjectives run through my mind simultaneously. Do not get me wrong here. The class rep is perfect, without a doubt. However, none of them can flawlessly describe what I feel about Laura. Genuine. I give her a mundane word. Shit, that was bad. Should I have done it differently? Who would compliment a girl with such a word? How is that even a compliment? Stupid, see. Apologize to her. Sorry, I mean dash. Don't be. She stops me right in the middle of my sentence by placing a finger on my mouth. I love it. I love your praise. There should be a question mark above my head. I am so confused I do not notice the soft sensation of her finger. But that's not a good way to commend anyone. She inches even closer to me. Her entire body is practically using mine as support. Trust me, see. That's the best one. Now, shall we leave? She takes her hand back and places it on her own lips. Huh, that is quite. That's an indirect kiss from you to me. She beams brighter than ever. The flush on her face has turned from pink to red. Of course, it was. Of course. My head bobbles down. Chill, see. It is just an indirect kiss. No need to be so worked up because of it. People will think I am cliché and boring. They will say I am similar to one of those Japanese beta males for blushing out of embarrassment. Fuck those virgins. What the fuck just happened? Next time, it is not going to be indirect. Wink. Of course. I have a déjà vu, and I can feel chilling stares coming from somewhere further away. To be completely honest, I will also pretend I did not hear that last sentence Laura just said. Do not get my hopes up, do not get my hopes up. I keep repeating that sentence. Back to the main topic, going home. Do I want to go home together with her? Yes. Yes, I do. There is absolutely no doubt about that. I still have no idea why she would like to be with someone like me, but what do I have to lose anyway? Still, there is one massive issue here. Where the hell are we going to? It is not like I have a home of my own. Well, I have a home to get back to be more exact. But it is just a bunch of squiggly pencil lines drawn by a sweatshop artist in a third world country. It is not enough to hide from the rain or the cold temperature since there is physically nothing. I really got frozen many times because of that place. If not for its location within the range of the memory wiping limit, I would have stayed at the school all day. Wait. Why the heck am I thinking of bringing her to my house? God. I am moving too fast. This is not good. It is all because of that kissing thingy. My brain is a mess, and that is all its fault. Be careful, see. You do not want to move so fast. She may consider you to be a creep. My house is already a no-no. What about her house, then? Yeah, her house. How does that make any difference? Do not think with your dick. Think with your head. You are going to have your memories wiped again, you horny bastard. This is not looking good on my side, honestly. We started dating today, and I am already losing control of everything in my head. The past really took a toll on my soul. If it is not comfortable for you, we can go to any other place. Seeing me being in thoughts, Laura suggests. Any place. I don't mind as long as we can be together. Weird, I thought I saw a hint of sorrow in her eyes. Maybe my vision is deceiving me. Why would Laura be sad all of a sudden? Nonetheless, the class rep's suggestion is not a bad idea. It is better for Laura and for me. If she does enjoy my company, of course. I still have to understand why she is doing this. Be it love, which is totally and undoubtedly questionable, or any hidden motive, I need to find it out. As for myself, who would ever reject a girl so beautiful as the class representative? Why don't we just take a walk today? There is no need to push it too fast, right? If she agrees, we can just do whatever we like for a little while, and then I will tell her to get home once it is dark. Truth be told, I do not want her to look at where I am staying. Not because of shame, but because of the explanation I have to give her. Lying is the last thing that I want to do. If Laura gives me her respect, I have to do the same. Not just her, but every one of the heroines in this game has suffered so much. I would be a total dick if I were to force them to feel hurt even more. Hearing my words, Laura smiles brightly. As long as you are happy, then I am happy. Let's hurry. Ah. I am stunned. Those words strike me down to my core. Happy. When was the last time I thought about that word? Suddenly, I feel like crying again. I know it is not good to let go in public, but this is too hard for me to hold in. Behind the class rep, there is now another person. It is Kurikawa. Why is she here? Should she not be heading to the library to do some reading? She is the bookworm, after all. Kurikawa is in her usual look, with her bang covering almost half of her face. However, her shirt looks kind of wet around the chest area. Her white laced bra is actually visible. The spot is not that big, just the size of a palm. I imagine if somehow tears were dropping from her chin down, they would have created that pattern. Either tears or drool, though. Mind if I join? Kurikawa asks. I am not sure who she is talking to since her face is covered. Even though the bookworm is right behind her, Laura keeps her eyes focused on me as if never wanting to let my reflection out from their sights. I can feel my hand squeezed tightly by hers. Don't worry. From now on, we will stay together. I promise you that. No one will take you away from me. That is, a bit obsessive, is it not? Laura did not have the chance to become a full-fledged Yandere previously, so I sure hope she stays that way. Furthermore, she is blatantly ignoring Kurikawa. Mommy, I am scared. See? You don't mind having another company, right? Kurikawa is now standing next to Laura. Although her bang is thick, it is clear her focus is me. If Laura is acting a bit Yandere-ish like this, I do not mind. Not at all. Until she behaves, I guess I have to put on a little defense around me. Please, Kurikawa, the more, the merrier. Wait. I think I messed up. If she was turning into a Yandere, would it be worse if I invited more people to join? That was how Han died times and times. On second thought. Thanks. I will take you on that offer, then. Kurikawa smiles, cutting me in the middle of my sentence. But it was you who made the offer. Dying is not fun. It is mind-bogglingly painful. I do not wish to be butchered by Laura if she has those Yandere genes inside her. And she does. They all do. Turning my eyes away from Kurikawa toward Laura, I expect a horrific sight, Yet it is the complete reverse. I am pleasantly surprised. She does not show any signs of turning into a psychopath at all. The class rep looks calm and collected. Though the gaze never leaves my body, her ember eyes are as they should be, not the eyes of a killer. And she is not saying anything scary, as well. Maybe I judged her too fast. Laura, I apologize. Flashes light up inside of Laura's eyes. I wonder what that means. It's fine. Kurikawa can join us? Then I can escort her home for you. Oh goody. Then I do not need to walk her home too far. That is great. No memory wiping. No explanation. Yet it is not finished. This journey to my house I have is starting to become something big. I do agree. The more, the merrier. This time, another voice comes up. It belongs to Rachel. Why, Rachel? Hearing that, the main protagonist has a question mark on his head. Hey, Rachel. Aren't you busy this afternoon? You told me to cook, didn't you? Change of plans, Han. But. The guy is clueless. I am also clueless. Change of plans. She cuts his sentence coldly. Gggggghhh. Goosebumps rise on my skin. Chapter 27, my first time going home with a girl, or two, or three, and a guy. 5 people are now leaving the school together due to my dumb mistake. How? Because of me, who else? Now, before any of you start saying anything weird or feel like cheering me on, let me add a quick sentence. It is awkward. Very awkward. How many times have I been talking about this? Again, I am most definitely not the protagonist, so I have no idea how to handle girls in my world. Even though I cannot hear you, I know many people have told me to get the girls for myself. The answer is no. I will not. You have no power here. That is simply not what I am supposed and designed to do. I am not Han, who can somehow make everything nice and cool. Unlike his charming, beta self, I am still a faceless guy. Maybe with the exception of a mouth. Honestly, I still feel weird talking using my newly formed lips and tongue. Is it that slimy all the time? And these teeth that I have are sharp and rough. I wonder how it feels to bite now that I have a mouth. Wait a second. If I have a mouth, will I feel hungry? I should, right? Everything has been changed, so I should expect to have some grumbling noises in my stomach probably pretty soon. I am getting sidetracked. Besides, what do you want from me, anyway? Not going to lie, but I would love to smack myself in the face right this instance. I wish I had never said anything to the people in the class and just left. Why did I even consider saying more is better? That is just stupid, so stupid. The more, the merrier. How cringy is that? God. See, get your head out of your ass. After that one sentence, the heroines all wanted to join out of nowhere. Seriously, what is the appeal that you girls are seeing in me? Please tell me as soon as possible so that I can change. I promise I will. Laura was already joining me, which was understandable since she was magically dating me. I would also like to have someone accompany me back home. However, Kurikawa asked to chime in even though her scene would not start until tomorrow. She was almost forcing me to let her be with us. Lastly, the psycho Rachel, who shut her childhood friend down heartlessly just to participate. Drastically different. Usually, I would say that these girls are acting way out of their usual selves. However, at this point, I think I should stop saying that things are getting derailed. It is getting satire, and I am also tired of repeating the same sentence. I will also apologize for doing all of this again and promise to not do it in the future. Maybe. Except for when I forget. Instead, I will focus on the normal one. Thus, that leaves us the main protagonist of this story. The only person who did not want to join us was Han. And even he was unable to change Rachel's mind. His effort, which consisted of a bunch of S and AHS plus a lot of hand wavings, did quite a terrible job. Of course not, what did I expect from him? Seriously, man. Grow some balls, will you? The way you keep giving in to your childhood friend like that is why you always die in the previous trials. How about you try saying, no. I want to go home, and watch her reactions. What is the worst thing that can happen, right? It is not like she is going to kill you for saying no. Although Rachel is a psycho, her craziness lies in her love for you. There is absolutely no way for her to harm you in any way. The only way for her to harm you is if you are cheating. Or perhaps, she does not have any feelings for you anymore. And that is virtually impossible. What is the chance of Rachel falling out of love? Absolute zero. Z.E.R.O. So be not afraid, Han Sam. Go, spread your wings. But to be frank, even though Han is a wimp, he is the only one who still holds his characteristics until now. Compared to the rest of the cast, who has given me nothing but question marks above my head, only Han stuck to the story and tried to steer it back. He did his best to keep the storyline stable, yet the bug affecting Rachel was already too powerful. Sigh. How on earth am I going to get out of this? Regretting the previous discussion in the classroom, I desperately try to drag my feet forward to the unknown fate that awaits me. What are you thinking, C? The class representative squeezes my hand softly. Looking at the eagerness in her eyes, I do not want to let her know the anxiety in my chest. I'm just thinking about my future. That should be good. Not exactly a lie, either. I am thinking about my bleak future. Don't forget you have me now, see. It should be our future. She brings her hand, which is intertwined with mine, high up for me to see. Thank you. Even though I am still not sure why Laura spends her time with me, I still feel appreciated. We can always talk about it when we have some private time together. I do feel some skepticism, though. For Laura to switch her target from Han to me is a matter I must look into. Just like I said before, I am not letting anyone get in between. As Laura is about to say something, Kurikawa makes her presence known to me. It is not going to be just her, see. I will also be there for you. Troubled, I awkwardly reply to the bookworm. Thanks. Why is she talking like that? Don't worry about Kurikawa, see. She's just here to mess with our relationship. Laura looks to her right. Let me give you our position to help you imagine the scene. Just like in the morning, we are surrounded by the shadow people moving away from the school. The murmur of them is getting louder, too. That should be enough for the atmosphere. As for the environment, there are no cars or anything on our way home, so I guess I do not have to talk about them. By the way, houses on the streets keep repeating the same pattern as we pass by them. You know the usual white brick wall and a red-tinted roof design? They have those color schematics. The sun is still not settling down yet. Thanks to that, everything is still pretty visible. I walk on the far left, and Han is on the far right. Between him and I are Laura, Kurikawa, and Rachel. All in that order, respectively speaking. Since I am on the left side, I do not see the expressions of Laura when she turns to face Kurikawa. Although it should not be a good sight because the air suddenly drops around us. On the other side, Rachel and Han are also paying attention to us. Rachel looks a bit stiff, while Han has a nervous face. A bit boring, in my opinion. Rachel should be holding his hand or something. Do not put words in my mouth, Laura. I am not trying to do that. Unexpectedly, Kurikawa holds her ground. I can still remember these two had a confrontation in class, and Laura was able to have the upper hand. What changed here? I just want to be there for him. What is wrong with that? Kurikawa almost shouts. No need. He has me already. Laura shakes her head. You have your destiny to fulfill with someone else. Nonsense. Can you hear your hypocrisy right now? Just because you came forward first does not mean you can stay. Things can change, you know. Why are they talking about me? I am not quite sure I can follow your conversation. I raise my hand up like a good student. Pat. Laura puts her other arm on my head. It is warm. Don't worry. I'll make sure the bookworm stays away from you. Kurikawa's voice stiffens after hearing that. What did you just call me? I called you a nerd. Laura snickers. My brain has stopped its function. I have no idea what to do. Am I just dumb? Maybe. Kurikawa is on point. Laura, you are being a greedy hog. Here comes Rachel with her harsh comments. It is most definitely not helping. Han, please, you are my only hope. Rachel, I don't think we should intervene. I don't know what is going on between the class rep and Kurikawa, But I think we should mind our own business. I can see the desperation in his eyes as he struggles to pull onto Rachel's sleeves. Wish. Rachel turns her head lightning fast. Scary as heck. If we are not helping our friends settle their arguments, how is that a good friend? I just want to go home. Han seems to be stunned. Me, too, kid. Me, too. Rachel. Laura glances at Han's childhood friend. You should be heading back, no. Don't the two of you have some kind of dinner every day? As I remember correctly, Han should be cooking something for Rachel tonight. I was sitting in front of him when that happened. Kurikawa also joins in the conversation. So now the two of them are attacking Rachel instead of each other? Why yeah, Rachel. We need to get back soon. I still need to cook you something good today. The protagonist pumps his fists enthusiastically. No need. I think I am waiting for C's orange chicken dish. Oh, for Christ's sake, not this shit again. Chapter 28, Can I just say exit game and log out? As we are going home, Han's childhood friend drops another bombshell on the top of my head. Because the streets are totally empty with no one walking except for us, the ringing from deep within my brain is louder than ever. No, Rachel. For the love of my Lord and Savior Parmesan, no. This is the second time you have asked me to join you guys in having dinner. I understand Han does not know you will force yourself on him, but I do. Do you think it is amusing? Watching the two of you have coitus? It is, only slightly, though. Rachel does have a nice body. Wait, see. No horny. I will have to decline that. Shaking my head from left to right vigorously, I reply to the crazy blonde-haired lady in front of me. Stares. Laura, why are you looking at me like that? Her ember eyes are focusing straight on my face without any blinking. It is not scary, just odd how she does not blink. And that smile. What did I do? I clearly rejected Rachel, did I not? Maybe she wanted me to not say anything? Or she is jealous because Rachel asked me out again. Whatever the case is, I must be vigilant. And why are you also staring at me, Kurikawa? I cannot see your eyes, but your whole body is clearly leaning toward the side. Oh. Never mind, Laura just steps in to prevent her from getting close. Phew. I wonder why she was trying to come here. Even though I am curious about what she is about to do, nothing good can come out of the main heroines. With that said, I hope to see the light inside Rachel's eyes flicker and disappear because of my rejection. To my dismay, she does not stand down. The aquamarine color still shines brilliant despite my efforts. In fact, somehow, she is smiling much brighter than before. Wish. The two girls turn their heads. Both Laura and Kurikawa are now once again gazing at her. Why not? Isn't it better to have more people? Rachel tilts her head slightly. Gah. She got me. My sentence comes back to bite my ass. And do not try to look cute, please. Above all else, seriously, though. Why me? Do I want to join Rachel? The answer has always been clear. Neither do I want to have my guts pulled out or my eyes gouged, thank you very much. And I am most definitely not trying to say that for fun. I had those procedures done quite a few times already. Furthermore, I am now a man in a relationship. A relationship? It is a sacred thing, no. So I beg of you, Rachel. Please stop this madness you are trying to create. Why can you not just have fun with your childhood friend? Why do you have to pull me in? Excuse me, Rachel. I don't think you have talked to me about inviting my boyfriend to your private dinner party. Still pushing Kurikawa away, Laura steps in between my line of sight, blocking Rachel out from my view. Hey. TCH. I can hear someone clicking their tongue, yet the sound is tiny, almost inaudible. That quiet yet irritated voice should have come from Kurikawa. I wonder what just happened. Nonetheless, at this point, we are all staying still. Because of that, I can feel the air around us turns tense and heavy out of nowhere. Even the protagonist himself is sweating across his temple sides. However, despite the rising atmosphere and the tremendous tension in the air, three people are totally unaffected. Laura, Kurikawa, and Rachel. I swear I can see something similar to life energy swirling around them. As if the girls are getting into a battlefield, not a conversation. Oh, and if you think about the two guys, Han and me, just stop it. We are just for show and are certainly not worthy of your time. The girls are the main reasons for everything. After a few seconds that feel like an entire century, Rachel opens up. So whenever I ask see something, I have to go through you first. Isn't that just absurd? That is what I think people are calling control freak. Ouch. That packs quite a punch. Although, that logic is irrefutable. Rachel. I don't think we should be calling people that way. Can we just go home? Far over on my right, Han tries to stop his childhood friend. There is a clear tremble in his voice. God, how beta can you possibly get? That is right. Kurikawa directs her bang at Laura. To love something is to completely set it free. The heart wants what the heart wants, and you cannot keep love locked up inside a cage. Oh. Theatrical. Kurikawa. Just stop. Okay. I seriously do not need to hear an audiobook right now. Laura sighs in the direction of Kurikawa. Damn, that is brutal. So you disagree that love should be free? Do you want to keep it around you at all times like some kind of pet? That's not love. That's possessiveness. And do you know what kind of person has such a personality, Rachel? Still, Kurikawa does not seem to flinch. Something has probably fired up inside of her, which leads her to say a lot. Because usually, Kurikawa does not focus on anything uninteresting. There is something questionable, though. That is the fact that she is directing the question at Han's childhood friend. GGGGGGHHH. What the heck? I suddenly get goosebumps. Has the temperature dropped? See class rep. Also, the high-pitched voice of a frightened man can be heard. What is Laura doing? I am behind her, so I cannot really see what is going on at the front. By the look of horror on Han's face, I can more or less take a guess. Oh, Kurikawa, you didn't know. Next to Han, his female childhood friend turns at the girl with the band with a shocked expression. Do tell. Completely disregarding the look of Laura, Kurikawa replies while smiling. Rachel nods and continues. It's called a yandere. Oh. I have read novels with a lot of those. They are just a bunch of crazies. The bookworm follows the nod of Rachel. These two are so obviously in cahoot. They do not even have the slightest idea to hide it. I turn my face at the surrounding, trying to make myself a passerby who has no correlation to this conversation. The tiles on the roofs are redder than before. The details are also more prominent. Someone must have updated the art. Rachel, what is a yandere? Is it some kind of a new trend? Han raises his hand up. Before anyone can answer, Laura has already taken the first step. By the way, I can swear I just saw a twitch on Rachel's face. As for Kurikawa, I have no idea. Oh, you will understand sooner or later. You have got one very close to you right now. A yandere is someone so devoted in their love that they would sacrifice anything for you. I do not know why, but I feel like that answer is for Rachel. What a weird feeling. Anyway, what the class rep said is not wrong, but it is just half the truth. If I had eyes, I would send Han a look of sympathy for asking such a dumb question. Understandably, for a guy looking for a girlfriend, Han would be glad after hearing something Laura said. In fact, he is totally fired up. Oh. So there is a potential girlfriend somewhere around me. Who is it? Is she beautiful? Is she cute? Can you tell me who it is? Wait. Wait. Let me do it myself. Let me think if I can find out this person. Is it next class? Why are you focusing only on the outside layer and the looks? You need to think about their personalities and characteristics, too. You horny ass. The soul is vastly important, as well. Oh boy. I cannot wait to get myself a girlfriend. We can do so many things together. We can hold hands, eat ice cream, and hold hands. Men. Always thinking about holding hands. Goo. My hand feels tighter thanks to Laura squeezing my hand. She is so thoughtful. It is such an irony, though. The poor guy, who does not even know what would happen to him, asked about the type that would make his life a total mess. Or rather, take it away in an extreme manner. The yandere is literally right there. Next to you. Your childhood friend has been hearing all your thoughts. Even Kurikawa is turning her face at you. They all have feelings for you, and you are already busting your balls. That Yandere's will kill you for it, Han. Never mind Laura, she is not the killer. It is Rachel that you should care about it for now. Kurikawa, well, she asked to be killed, so it is kind of different? Is it not? Wish. Again, you girls. Stop staring at me. I want to go home so desperately right now. One more, and I'm out of stock. You know what? The class representative turns her face at Han, who is still in his daydreaming state and laughing, he. Standing behind her, I can indeed feel the cringe atmosphere. At one point, Laura, Kurikawa, and Rachel start to cover their faces with one hand. As for the class rep, she has the other hand grasping mine tightly. It feels warm. So warm. I can't even. Laura mutters. Poor class rep witnessing that scene must be hard. Han is disgusting. Truly and utterly disgusting. More importantly, he seems to have forgotten that many people are looking at him and indulging him in a fantasy created by his imagination. What a virgin. With just holding hands, he is already on the verge of hysteria. He is nothing like me, who has already gotten used to it after a few hours. Look at how calm I am. That is the difference between me, a veteran, and Han, a newbie on the road to love. But he will lose his virginity in a few hours, though. It is not on him. It is about his childhood friend, Rachel. Yet I still have to say that the guy moves faster than lightning. Or should I say Rachel moves faster than lightning? Does it matter that much right now? Probably not. Either way, according to the known legend, he will not become a wizard once he gets to 30 years old, since he will have his cherry popped. I do not even know if he could survive until his 20s. Poor guy. I want to tell him what a Yandere means. I really do. However, I will not do that. As the protagonist of this story, it is his duty to carry out everything to the end. He still has a lot of heroines to conquer and death flags to avoid. Either Laura has deliberately hidden the other half of the truth about the definition of a Yandere, or she does not understand fully what that is. Regardless, they are both beneficial to me. If Han does not understand the concept of Yandere, he will not be so defensive and will continue to be clueless all the time. Thanks to being oblivious of his surroundings, he will soon fall into the hands of the main heroines again. Therefore, it will be best if he understands not. What is that? I think Rachel steps forward a little. That is a dangerous sign, since she can pounce at any given moment. Well, at least she does not have her Yandere plot device at this point, so there should be less of an issue facing a crucial side character like Laura. TCH. Rachel clicks her tongue. She sounds a bit annoyed. You are wrong. Laura shrugs her shoulders. I don't care. Oof. Why do you need to be so straightforward? That said, I still need to be vigilant. Nothing has been the same, and I can only react when things happen. If Han's childhood friend attacks Laura, I will jump out and run while pulling the class rep's arm. After all, she is my girlfriend right now. And as a boyfriend, I have to protect her at all costs. Fake lovers or not, I am not letting her die in front of my eyes this time. Oops, I forgot. I do not have eyes. In front of my face, then. Of course, I can also die while protecting Laura and will have everything reset to the start of the game at the school gate. I do not want that for now, not going to lie. All of that is because of the strange change in the class rep. And Kurikawa quickly catches up with the conversation. You should. We all have to, actually. And don't act like you don't know anything. Oh, sorry about that. Let me adjust my sentence for you too. The class rep then uses one hand to straighten her outfit. I do not give a damn. Again, Laura stresses. I feel like she is a bit more agitated this time. Why, though? Is it because she hates Kurikawa? Or is it because she has to repeat herself? Regardless, things are not looking so well for everyone. Kurikawa focuses intensely on the class rep. Is this the real class representative? Talking like a savage to her classmates. Laura nods. Yes. If I were a real man, I would tell Laura to back down and stop provoking Rachel and Kurikawa, because that will lead to many unfortunate events. But I am most definitely not a real man. As a result, I will stand here quietly like a good boy. I am so pathetic. Not any less than Han, to be honest. Wait. That gives me an idea. Let me first take a quick look at the main protagonist. Yeah, Han has a tired expression on him. The guy and I exchange a nod. I can finally understand you a little, brother. I will help you out as soon as possible. Again, the girls are just bickering with each other. There is really no need for me to be here. Right now, it seems clear that they are in a heated discussion, and that argument can lead to a drastic end immediately. My plan is simple. Leave with Han. He wants to go home. I want to go home. The rest I need to do is to tell him that. Obviously, if I were to walk home alone, that would be the best case scenario. However, I would have my memories erased. In the end, he has to go with me. We are the pathetic duo. Han, it looks like our friends need some alone time. I call out to the only guy besides me. Why yet? He looks around him. Since Laura seems to be very misleading, let me give you an explanation. But as I am about to tell Han to go first, Kurikawa switches the target from Laura to him. Damn it, Kurikawa. How did you manage to catch it so fast? The guy is startled after hearing his name. Wait. Kurikawa. Stop. Do not tell him what a yandere is. Yandere is someone who can kill under the name of love. They are very violent in nature and will do absolutely anything to achieve their goals. Hold on. Hold on. That is too much information. Yes, Han. Kurikawa is right. The yanderes are very likely to kill and torture even their loved ones. For example, parents, siblings, friends, etc., are not an exception for a yandere. As long as those people stand between the alleged yandere and their love interest, they will not hesitate to end those lives. Rachel looks straight into the eyes of her childhood friend. Why on the goddamn earth would you reveal that? He is going to be so defensive now. If he is like that, how can you make him your love? Rach, you messed up. Big time. Ugh. This situation is just the worst. How am I going to fix this? Reset is coming. It is definitely coming. Oh really? That is what a yandere is. They are so freaking cool. Han's eyes sparkle. Excuse me, what the fuck? Suddenly, all eyes are upon Han. Don't you guys think so too? For a person to go as far as murdering and tormenting other people under the name of their love is such a noble and sacred thing. The guy enthusiastically looks at each of us respectively. There is a strong hint of excitement in his voice. Seriously, what the fuck? I look at the girls, and they are surely bewildered like me. They will even sacrifice their own family members to achieve their goals. Now that is what I call devotion. If they truly sever the bonds of blood to get a psychological bond from someone completely unrelated, then I am sold. Man. Such intensity. If I had a girlfriend like that, I would never do anything to make her sad. Han continues his monologues. But they will kill you. Rachel tells him another gruesome fact. Kurikawa also chimes in, and they will put you through tremendous pain. Laura stays silent. Her back is shivering slightly. Is she cold? There is no wind, though. If the yandere girl kills me, it is because of me cheating. It sounds to me that these people are very insecure about their lovers. As long as I keep my feelings as pure as possible and accept them fully, I should be safe, right? Does he like yandere? Is the bug also affecting him? But this bug is like a godsend. Han liking the yandere concept is a first. And that is a fucking good news. Chapter 29, Han is also changing. Why is this the first time I have heard about these girls? Rachel, you knew about them before, didn't you? Why didn't you tell me then? Han looks at his childhood friend on the left. Sigh. You do not talk to people like that, you stupid protagonist. Out of context, one would say he is trying to pick a fight. But I know this guy. Although his inquiry is a little selfish, he asks a genuine question. I would say that is one of the reasons why he died so quickly in the past. The fact that he is so insensitive has always been his downfall. If Han were a little more careful, a bit more intuitive, or just thought more of the people around him, it would have been vastly different. At least he would have lived a little longer. Nonetheless, that is just the type of person he is. There is no way for me to change it. Excuse me? When did you ask me for that? Rachel glares at him. Even with Laura blocking my view, I can still see the chilling look in her eyes. They are damn scary, man. See. Now your childhood sweetheart is mad. Think first before you speak, Han. Or she will rip your dick off. She will not hesitate when the push comes to shove. Hold on. Rachel is not supposed to be angry at just that. She should be calmer. Oh well, it is what it is. After all, Rachel has been cranky since we started. A little bit more would not be too strange. But I will need to keep some space between her and us to run away when needed. Eep. So sorry. I was too excited. The protagonist instantly steps back from the stair. Suits you. That will teach you a lesson so that you can watch your words better the next time you open your mouth. Clearly not finished, Rachel continues her scolding. Excited or not is not really the matter here. Venting your frustration like that on other people is unacceptable, isn't it? Her tone is similar to that of a teacher. Why yes, ma'am. And the guy acts like a student. He should be afraid of her. I turn my face at Laura and see her looking back at me with a soft smile. Such impeccable timing. Using the other hand, I signal her to come close. What's wrong, see? Do you need me with anything? She asks. I then whisper to her ears while keeping my voice at the lowest setting. If I say run, we run. No question asked. Safety first. We want no violence whatsoever. Of course, running has its merits, too. If I run away too far from Han, I will have my memories erased. However, that is a trivial matter just for the current game. I would love to save the class rep from a tragic fate this time rather than clutching onto some ancient memories that I do not want to remember. After hearing my request, Laura moves to my ear and starts to whisper just like what I just did. Okay. I don't know why we should run, but I will listen to you. Gggggghhhh. That tickles. My skin is rising because of that. The feeling of having someone blowing air into your ear is just so, weirdly comfortable. And her whispers are somehow very soothing to my brain. Is this what people call ASMR? Oops. This is still on the outside. Home is still far away. I need to maintain a straight face since everyone can be looking at me. Well, not exactly a face. Probably I just need to keep my mouth straight. Kurikawa, I am sorry, but I think you are staring too much. Do not think your band can hide everything. There are still the occasional wins. You too, Rachel. Your aquamarine eyes are beautiful. I get that. But please, focus those intense stares on the person next to you, not me. Because Rachel replied to him quite harshly, cold sweats appear on Han's temple sides. I guess let's just head home. Yeah. I suggest we do that. Rachel says. Agree. Kurikawa makes a nod. The bookworm has not been saying much since Han started his monologue. I do understand why, though. There is nothing for Kurikawa to join in because it is pretty much between Han and his childhood friend only. Plus, she has not had enough affection or information about Han. Since we left, I have seen Laura keeping a close look on Kurikawa. What she is doing, I have no idea. But the latter does seem to try making her way toward the side. It is all thanks to Laura that she is unable to reach me. So for that, I thank you, class rep. No matter what it is, getting close to one of the main heroines is too dangerous. Regardless, I must say that Han is very much different from all of the previous iterations. Everyone has changed, and that includes me. But I would go as far as saying his shift in character is the most impactful. He now expresses his interest in the Yandere girls. Also, the protagonist has been scolded by Rachel instead of her giving in to his selfish questioning. Not only does Rachel take no shit from him, but she is also able to show herself more than ever. Personally, I consider that to be a good thing. An excellent change, actually. It seems that the bug has finally gotten hold of Han's character. From here, their relationship can take a better or worse turn this time. I would say the scale tips are on the better side. The reason is that she has taken so much crap from him in the past. Since she took all the stress from handling him and his daily life, like meals and laundry, it was apparent that her emotions would be bottled up inside of a jar called love. She did everything a housewife should be doing without having her feelings reciprocated. That kind of pretense only worked for a while. Rachel suffered greatly from Han's insensitiveness but did not say a word. All she ever wanted was a confirmation from him. A confirmation that Han was never able to give. Poor fool. And when she finally forced herself onto her childhood sweetheart, Rachel achieved her lifelong goal. At the same time, it drove her sanity to the breaking point. I remember the night she had with Han. Even though she was the one who wanted to drug him and rape him, Rachel was crying. Rachel kept saying sorry over and over again. I did not want it to be this way. She said that while bawling her eyes out. It was painful. Yandere or not, in reality, Rachel, Kurikawa, or Laura were and still are girls. They wanted the affection which Han could never provide. Han's personality was not bad. However, it was only like that to him. It brought him all the goodness while robbing everyone else of their happiness. Literally, all of the girls inside this world had to mourn. But that is enough judging. I do not want to think about sad things. It is damaging to my heart. That Han was in the past. This Han is different now. The main cast is all different, and that is the key. This time, he has a little more information. With the truth about the girls around him already out there, I hope the guy can actually make it further than previous. Even though he is still crass, at least he is aware of the danger that can come in case of carelessness. About dinner, see, why don't you join us? I think we can learn that dish you have been talking about. After all, you suggested it. All that is left is the hellish invitation from Rachel. See, you should not go to their house. Laura advises me. Kurikawa follows up after the class rep. Yes. I do agree. We should leave Rachel and Han together like the lovebirds they are. I am not in a relationship with him. I am not in a relationship with her. At the same time, the childhood couple replies. Such harmony. They do share a lot in common. Years after years staying side by side created some similarities. If Han tries his best, they can have good chemistry together. I highly doubt he would try, though. However, they did have some differences in the way they replied. Rachel exclaimed with haste. On the other hand, Han just shook his head slowly. Even when Rachel denied their relationship quite fast, Han still showed no interest in that regard. There are two explanations for this. Either Han is great at hiding his feelings, or he has no feelings for her. Nonetheless, the first reason is nothing to be afraid of. I just need to help them get together better if the second reason is the truth. Using his attraction to Yandere, I will try to weasel in that Rachel is one with such a personality. That should help their relationship develop. I hope. If you don't like getting to our places, how about we get to your place? Rachel cuts my train of thoughts with a horrific proposal. Chapter 30, Rachel will fight for what she wants. No, I decline. Immediately, C gives me a strict no. As expected, he does not want to. Right after that, in my head, the familiar inner voice of that guy appears. What is she thinking? Doesn't she know that the question is utterly stupid? One would think that the inner voice does not have a tone on its own. That would be completely wrong. C's thoughts always have a tone, and he can also sound flabbergasted, surprised, or anything else, for that matter. The world inside his head is so vast that his emotions can be heard at any given time. Despite the quiet appearance, he thinks a lot. Right now, he is dumbfounded by my question. I know, C. I know that my request is dumb. But what can I do? I just cannot be waiting for my body to be taken away from me by the system, can I? Why do you keep pushing this, Rachel? Even worse, your childhood sweetheart is standing right there. Even though he seems clueless, I think you do not want to be alone with him. At all. Of course not. Why would I want to be like that? I do not look forward to losing control of everything again. At lunchtime, I could hardly do anything on my own. Anything with Han feels fake and fabricated, and it brings my heart to a boil. Each passing second of being under control is worse than hell. This is my body. Similar to Laura, I would love to be able to escape from the damning shackles I feel whenever I am trying to do something. How she managed to do so is still mysteriously hidden. While I am struggling my best just to stay away from Han, she is being a disgusting thorn in my eyes by linking hands with C. I would love you to stop forcing your way into my boyfriend's house. And I think Kurikawa can say the same thing. Standing before C, Laura stares at me intensely. To be honest, Despite wanting to rip her head off, I would love to ask her how to get the constant influence of the system. However, I do not believe that the class rep will share that information. Hearing Laura, Kurikawa turns to me. It is indeed inappropriate. You already have a promise to keep, right? So now you two are on the same team. Not just her, but my alleged childhood sweetheart also jumped on the boat. I think we should go, Rachel. It is getting late, and we are just standing by idly. The time for my favorite anime is coming, too. Tut tut tut. Rachel, Rachel, Rachel. It is now 3 against 1. I do not know what you have in mind, and I do not care. These people are going to be by my side. Muahahaha. So be a good little Yandere and go home with Han. Only I will go to C's house. The rest of you can go back to where you came from. Says Laura. Hold on. When did I say that you could come to my place? It is but a bunch of pencil lines. C agreed for me to walk home together with him. Therefore, I will. Simple as that. The bookworm leans a little more toward C. Since she is closer to me, I can notice that a bit easier than the rest of them. Laura probably notices that, too. That was why she chose to block his front. Sigh, I did make that mistake. Can I just say I was wrong, and you all leave? Is that too much to ask for? After all, you girls should not be here right now. I really cannot see why you would group up like this. We are like that because of you. Though I am sure that I will never tell you that. With that small exchange, I know all of them are joining forces to push me toward the script. To be fair, I knew that from the beginning. The past iterations have shown how much of a threat I am. Them isolating me is understandable. Still, backing up does not even cross my mind. Oh no. Please don't think of it like that. We're friends, right, Han? Friends should be spending time with each other. Don't you think so too, my childhood friend? Why yes. The guy next to me squeals. I had to use my stares to make him behave like that. Since when did we become friends? I have been alone all this time, mind you. C says nothing but thinks to himself. That breaks my heart. To be completely honest, the blame is not on C or Han for not helping me. Han is a mere pawn that can be disposed of at any given moment. As long as I keep him alive, this reset C has been talking about should not occur. Since there is still the influence of the system, I cannot really do anything to him. Unless I become free. On the other hand, C has been mentally scarred. He lives inside a shell made of excuses and lies of his own making. The pain this world caused has made him terrified of any changes. Even though he was so desperate in the past to get me free, the current him needs help. My help. My hand is once again tightened by Laura's. The warmth inside of her palm calms me down. I clench my teeth but try not to make a sound. I'm not just your friend. I am also your girlfriend. She shows him a disgusting smile. Heek. But Laura. Laura stands in the way. She is the true culprit here. Thanks to her and Kurikawa's combined efforts, it was possible to shun me. I will always be here for you, see. If anything happens, you will have my back. Kurikawa speaks up in a hurry as if not looking to lose. Their eyes and actions have made it clear. Why? Why are they so vehemently trying to do so? In reality, should they also be fighting? It should not be because of my nature. No. The two of them are not scared of me. The reason should be something else. Something unnoticed. Thanks. Hey, see. Don't forget that I am your friend, too. Han joins in the conversation while waving his arm. I would not want to be involved with you. Since the surprise confession at lunchtime, I already have a target. Lunchtime. That must be it. All that I could gather after coming into the classroom after lunchtime was meaningless. There must have been something else. I just need to find out what that something is. Thinking about that, I am starting to get pissed again. Calm down, Rachel. Do not let it get into your head. That bitch. She made her advancement right when he was weakest without me knowing. There was no way for C to reject someone as straightforward as her. He has been living under depression and was voided of any physical touch from anyone. With that, a caring gesture from literally anyone from the opposite sex would be a huge deal. And even if he did reject, I would say she would not have given it up. It should not have happened. I was supposed to be the one to make the first move. Yet, he is with her now. Think. Think. The system must have less control over her than me for unknown reasons. I will not let go with just that, Laura. As long as I am still around, you will never have him. Absolutely not. Although the protagonist of this story is a beta guy with a skull thicker than a stone, she still has to think of his feelings. At this rate, their relationship will be spoiled. C is thinking about something redundant again. There is no such relationship whatsoever. It never existed in the first place. Han does not think of me as a love interest. And I myself am starting to feel detached from him. Seeing someone cheating on me with other women, I would rather have someone else. But to do so, I need more freedom. How on earth did Laura manage to get C? I do not think she can openly say things like I love you or anything. The shackles placed upon me did not allow me to speak like that. Wait. I have been thinking this from the wrong angle. If I cannot get the answer from Laura, I can just get the answer from C's thoughts. The corners of my lips turn into a smile. Why is she smiling? I know you are beautiful already, so stop flaunting it. Jeez. Hee hee. Praise me more. This is better than hearing it by a billion times. Hey, guys, let's walk home while talking. I don't want to stand here forever. Thank God. Yay. Anime time. Han shouts. Also, how did the class rep and C become a C couple? I try my best to keep a happy face. Laura instantly stares me down. The amber color cannot hide the tension in her eyes. I would like to keep that a secret. It's improper to ask that question, Rachel. Kurikawa does the same thing. Just shut up, nerd. I'm also curious. As usual, Han is clueless. If Laura doesn't want you to know, I have to respect her. I mean, I did not really think it would happen at all. The class rep was just pulling me up from the chair. When I touched Laura's hand, she suddenly got emotional and started crying and hugging me. I swear I did not do a thing to her. Pie. I get a death stare from Laura. Ha 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 ha. Bitch. It is physical touch. Oh well, I will never know how your relationship started, sadly. It is literally nothing. I just touched Laura, and she started crying. That is it. Now I am feeling bad. Taking advantage of the situation, I continue my attacks. Then why don't we all have dinner at my place tonight? If you are done, you can go home, see. We will be handling all the preparations. You all just need to be there, eat dinner with us like dear guesses. That is a very enticing offer. She is going home with Han, and I can avoid explaining the house. 2 birds with 1 stone. It is not like I have never been there while they were having dinner. With Laura and Kurikawa, I do not believe she will kill me. I also feel guilty for not saying the event at lunch. Not going to lie, but I would like to eat for the first time. UK. Let me just swallow my saliva first. Okay. He nods. Yes. Yes. There is no way she will drug me. Chapter 31, Kurikawa is also suffering. This is not good. This is not good at all. It seems Rachel has figured it out. Even though Laura and I tried not to talk about it with her being nearby, I guess we could not escape the unavoidable outcome. Since the event happened when Rachel was not there, we deliberately stayed quiet to keep her away from it. I never thought that the two of us would simultaneously and knowingly do something that the other party was scheming. Although, I do wish I could delay Rachel's realization as far as possible. Sigh. Rachel, do we have enough food for this many people? Walking next to his alleged fiancée, Han wonders. Look at him being oblivious again. He does not even know how much food his childhood sweetheart stocks at home for them to eat. The poor girl goes to the supermarket every morning just to get the freshest ingredients for you, you ungrateful prick. I pity those who soon have to become his girlfriends. C's heavy criticism rings in my head. How did the past Kurikawa come to be in love with this protagonist, honestly? He seriously has no idea how everything around him comes to fruition. The fact that he is the one this game appointed is nothing short but a miracle. If this were real life, I would have never chosen him to be my partner. My choice for an ideal boyfriend or husband would definitely be like C, who paid attention to small details and actually cared. After all, everyone wants to feel appreciated. The current Kurikawa will not settle for some mediocre second-handed affection. Don't worry, I have it covered. Rachel reassures Han. Although she smiles in his direction, I can see clearly that her main focus is not him. Her target is most definitely similar to mine. Also, I have a very peculiar feeling that even her smile is not directed at her childhood friend. That psycho should be feeling good hearing C's words. Gotcha. I know I can always count on you. Han then starts humming a tune. No. Appreciate her more. Say thank you, you absolute kettle. She has everything done even before you could ask that question. Pay a little more attention to her, for goodness. If you want to have a yandere girlfriend, this is your chance. I agree, C. We need to quickly make them a couple. Less competition is always better for me, especially when we still have more unknown heroines coming. Haha. Thanks. That is meaningless, but whatever. Rachel needs to keep the childhood friend game anyway. Because of that psycho, the plan now has to change. Initially, I was thinking about keeping it neutral by not joining any party except aiming for C. That is no longer a viable choice. From here on out, she will start attacking relentlessly, and I must choose a side. However, either Rachel's or Laura's is equally disgusting to me. I do not like it one bit. The only team I want to be on is my own, and maybe C's. Today's anime will be exciting, Rachel. Finally, we get to see that pirate using the fifth gear. Oh, I see. Han starts to talk about his hobby, while the girl next to him just nods. I take that she does not really have any interest in anime. Oh, come on, man. Just look at her. She is clearly not in the mood for that. Usually, she would give you her thoughts about your hobby. Right now, she is not even replying to them. Ask her how she is feeling, whether or not she needs help for the upcoming dinner, anything. A simple how are you is 10 times better than your weeba shit. While walking back to Han's place, I am paying close attention to C's inner voice, looking for any other clue I can utilize. Not just that, but I also look out for Rachel and Laura. What we have at the moment is a weird equilibrium between us three, and I look forward to tipping the scale to my side. With every chance I can find, I try to close the distance between C and me whenever possible. Sadly, all of my attempts have been for naught. What I am looking for is a light touch. That would theoretically free me from the shackles of the system. Between that psycho and I think I have less struggle. The reason can be, as C said, that my scene was not coming until later. Therefore the control of the system is less on my back. That theory is very plausible, though I will probably need to experience my own scene to know for sure. Laura has been keeping a very close eye on me. By that, I mean she has been managing all of my advancements. I notice the glares coming from the corners of my eyes many times and choose to ignore them. She will not do anything drastic when he is still here. I know that. Sigh, the way home has never been this long. But on the brighter side, thanks to the new colors, the surroundings are much livelier. No more gray patches all around the blocks. It pleases the eyes. Ah, wait. I do not have those. It helps the mind? Nah, the expression is not the same anymore. Saying that makes me feel like a pseudoscientist selling crystals. Puhaha. You idiot. How did you even come up with those euphemisms? Nonetheless, this new change in the world is good. I like it. I know everyone is different. All the girls are behaving more like humans than mere programs. But, to be honest, I have never had my heart jump so many times before. I feel like I am living, not stuck in a never-ending nightmare where there is only me. My dear classmate C, this world is like that because there is you. You are the one influencing us. It is all thanks to you, who are giving us the chance to become something else, better, more realistic. I am human now. All thanks to you, my dear. Hey, C, can I ask you a question? Laura casually walks on C's right, blocking my way. Share some of the air, will you? Sure. Go ahead. I'm sorry if this is too personal, but is it fine for you to go to Rachel and Han's place? Of course, she wants to divert him somewhere else. I know that because I want to do so, as well. I know I am not in a position to say anything, but I want to ask the same thing. Do not do it because you are forced to. See, anything forced does not have any good inside it. I stress the word forced a bit while looking at Laura. She should be able to understand what I am trying to say. I seriously do not mind being a supporter as long as I can have a bit of what I want. Contrary to Rachel's selfish tendency, I do not feel too much of a grudge if I were to share. That is something all Kurikawa had. C puts a hand on his lips, touching them while he thinks. The way it works may be comical since what he has is just a mouth, but I think he looks serious. A man is most handsome when he concentrates. That saying never fails me. It is too late to take my words back now. I can ask Laura to pull me back to my place if things get ugly. It is just some pencil lines and is very close by, so that should be easy for her to find. In fact, I just needed to turn left near Han's place, and my house was already visible. The more important question would be whether or not Laura would take me back home. Plus, I would need to answer her questions after that. Stop showing everyone what to do, see. You are digging your grave. You just did that by saying Rachel would not drug you. I am certainly not forcing him to do anything. However, dinner will be much better if we can share it with friends. At that moment, Rachel explains. And I would love to study how C makes that dish. Quite desperate, I see. Now that I am thinking about it, even though I know how to cook, I have never actually tasted orange chicken before. All I have ever done was copy Rachel while she did it. Well, I think I just need to decline if she comes up with questions like that. At least I did not make a black gooey mess like Han when he cooked things. This is a great chance to actually eat for once. Seriously, his mind is just so wild. He can go from one thought to another in less than a second. To keep it safe, I will pull Laura aside and request that she helps me if anything goes wrong or if Rachel turns into her berserker state. Right after that, he does what he thought. Since I cannot join in on their whispers, I can only observe them and Rachel. On her face, the smile is distorted into a miserable look. As for me, I do not know what kind of face I am making. No one will see it through my bang, so it does not matter much. Still, Rachel must be hurt when C does not believe in her. Who am I to say anything? It is about my turn tomorrow. When the time comes, will he save me from the danger, or will he push me toward the storyline? The only way for me to escape the horrible fate of being bound to Han is to touch him. Yet there has been not a single successful attempt. My time is running out, and I know what C feels about progressing the story. As if gravity has increased tenfold, I drag my feet forward to a bitter future. Chapter 32, Laura is getting some sugar. At this point, everything is crystal clear. C's monologue is universal among us except for Han. Until now, I still do not clearly understand the reason why. However, the way it works is irrelevant. The important thing is to protect him from the likes of Rachel. If he falls into her hands, God knows what she will do to him. Dare you to lay a finger on him, Rachel, and you will suffer. I will trample on your dead corpse if you harm him in the slightest. You will wish for what you did to the Loris in the past when I begin the torture, you sadistic nutjob. I knew from the start that Psycho would find out sooner or later. Even if he was not saying a word, he could not stop his train of thoughts. No one can ever do something like that. It is simply impossible, inhuman even. There is no way for me to blame C. He has been through enough of injustice already. Seriously, I only want him to have all of the best things I can offer, none of these dramas and schemes. The importance now lies in finding a way to keep him safe and drive Rachel toward Han while hiding the fact that we can read his thoughts. I can try my best to hide that. In fact, we all have been doing the same thing. As for pushing Rachel toward Han to keep the story moving, I am not that confident, frankly. Even though it is true I am ahead of everyone else due to my sudden confession, it is C's decision to keep me by his side. Some may consider that to be unfair since I am trying to monopolize him for myself. That is indeed what I am thinking. There is no such thing as fairness when it comes to a relationship. First comes, first served. While strolling on the street with an important person, I also take the time to try and memorize the location for future usage. In his words, this place is very close to his. So it will definitely come in handy. And how is it acceptable if I do not even know the way to C's house? It is the place I will spend most of my time. About 20 minutes later, a specific place sticks out like a sore in the neighborhood. We're here. Let's go in, guys. Oh, wait. Let me do one thing. Ahem. Welcome everyone to my house. Standing in front of his door, Han spreads open his arms and introduces it. Is this for real? Kurikawa covers her mouth with both hands. Her voice seems to be taken back a little. I wish I could be saying how pathetic she is. Sadly, I am also doing the same thing with one hand. The other one is still holding C's, of course. Even if this whole world is coming to its end, I am not letting C go. Period. He does live in a beautiful house. This lucky bastard. Do not be envious, C. As long as you are there, things will be beautiful. But I have to correct you on one thing, it is not a house. That is a villa. Fashionable white wall, orange intricate roof tiles with a western metal gate, this is undoubtedly a freaking fancy villa with a pool of its own. I can even see a garden with fresh fruits dangling trees on one side of the place. Just by a glance, I know already that these are well kept. The fruits are pretty ripe. Rachel can probably use those to make the dish she likes so much. I have always wondered what sour and tangy mean. This should be a chance for me to do it. Those are oranges. Is it because of the orange chicken dish that Rachel takes care of the trees? The possibility is certainly not zero. Not just that, but there are wooden tables plus chairs put randomly under those trees, probably for tea parties and such. Those also have some of the more distinctive designs that fit perfectly into the environment surrounding them. This is so luxurious I am appalled. Compared to the houses we have seen on our way, this one is definitely the best looking, also presumably the most well designed. He is destined to be the harem king, after all. So the place has to be at least this big to house all the different heroines. Coincidentally, there are 6 bedrooms for Han and 5 of the main heroines. Coincidentally, indeed. Ah, so that is why. Right now, we have Rachel, who is supposed to be the first female lead, and Kurikawa, who is supposed to be the second one. I wonder who would be the third one to show up. Please, people, come one right in. Don't just look at it like that. This is not built by me or has anything with my name on it. This house is my parents'. Han explains. Yeah, your loaded parents who never showed up even once. It must be disgusting looking at us mere mortals with small pockets filled with nothing but breadcrumbs, is it not, my lord? What is next? Feel free to behave like the normal commoners at my fantastic place. Do not be bound to your poor chains of the plebeians. I must not laugh. The corners of my mouth are twitching non-stop. Just relax and be your usual selves, similar to your own house. I am only a student like all of you. Fuck you, Han. Go and eat shit, you dick face. Puha. 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 What is wrong with those girls? Damn it. I could not hold it in. But, C is hilarious, so that should be a given. Even the other two could not withstand such a ridiculous hit from him. Humor, kindness, caring, attention, living outside of the box, what more could one ask for in a significant other? As we walk inside the villa, the protagonist takes the lead in showing us around. The rest of us just follow and let him do all the talk. Follow me this way. This is the main gate, by the way. I know, my lord. I have been here a few times. I have to say, it is refreshing seeing you a bit more proactive like this, Han. Keep it up. It is much more difficult for him to get his hands on Kurikawa and Rachel now, my sweet C. This change in him is at least 1,000 years too late. However, I feel a bit curious why C would be here in the past. Sigh, back when I first got my sentience, I snuck into this place to see what the problem was. Rachel managed to kill me a couple times until I found a way to climb in. Then, rather than finding something worthwhile and learning new things, I heard moaning from her. God forbid, but I took a sneak peek at her doing the deed with Han completely asleep. That was not entirely my fault, though. You should close the door when you are having sex, people. Well, see, dear, it was Han's house, and there should be no one else. Still, it is very odd she did not close the door. Honestly, you would think she would close and lock everything because of her plan. Yet it was different. The dishes were not cleaned, the laundry was everywhere, and the house was basically a mess. As if not wanting to waste a single second of Han in his drugged state, she pounced on him without any other thoughts on her mind. She lost all her reasoning once the pills took their effects. I can understand that. Rachel must have been in a hurry that she left everything on hold. He woke up in the middle of it, though. Rachel's worries about her childhood fiancé losing the effects of the drugs made sense all in all. If she had tried to do the house chores, he would have woken up before she finished. Han's house was huge. And by that, I mean gigantic. There should have been a maid. She was fired by Rachel. What do you expect? Some master servant role play with Rachel watching. That psycho only fired the maid? Not killed her? Lucky for the maid, it was before they had sex. She did not lose it totally in her head. They did have some master servant role play after the first time, though. Foo. You are thinking about that quite a bit, see? I know your kink now, dummy. Now, where can I get a maid outfit? This is the living room. These sofas are really soft, you know? I heard they imported it from overseas. The living room is the biggest out of all the rooms in this house. But we do have different areas for other activities. They all have pillows and blankets, though. I like to put those everywhere I go. So it is divided into sections. That makes sense. This place has a Western design outside, so it should be the same on the inside. So that you can have sex in different positions and scenarios, I know. Cool. Are you okay, Laura? C looks at me. His voice sounds concerned. Is she okay? I have been having a rise in temperature in my palm. Is she having some kind of flu? No, see, something caught in my throat. That's all. Ah, okay. Let's get you something to drink first. Wait a second. I think we all need something to drink. Let's tell Han to get it for all of us. My boyfriend then looks at the lord of the house. Maybe we should all get some water. You know, since we have been talking a lot, but not for me. I don't really need it. Woof. He really cares about me. I look to the other two and see the melting looks they have on their ugly faces. Stop. Now. Oh shoot. Why didn't I think about that? Sorry guys, I'll get you something right away. Follow me to the kitchen. We have a big dining table there. Chapter 33, I hate the kitchen. Puv. My feet touch something soft. I choose to ignore it for now. The more important question is, do you know what is inside a kitchen? Of course, you do. You must have one in your house, maybe even a couple of kitchens. Possibly you have a thing with kitchens. Who am I to judge, Puv. Okay, jokes aside, I take that you know whatever is inside such a place. There should be a dining table first. Then some chairs, and then there would be a separate corner for cooking, right? Of course, we are making a hugely simplified version of a kitchen here, but we need a bit of context to understand what comes next. I would get it if he had something like a giant fridge. Something extravagant like a majestic artisan pizza oven would not be too much for someone with Han's background. Puv. Once again, I kick the pillows off my feet. Yes, the kitchen has these things all over the floor. That is the weirdest problem with this place. Don't mind the pillows. I just like to have them everywhere in the house just in case, haha. Han laughs to himself to avoid the weird looks from the girls. Just in case? For what? No, ladies. He is like that because there will be a bunch of sex scenes in this area. See those aprons over there in that corner? Yeah, you girls, with the exception of Laura, would be doing the naked apron thing with him. Come in, come in. Have a seat, all of you. Don't be so nervous. He says. Honestly, Han, give them some time to adjust. Anyone would be quite weirded out seeing a bunch of pillows on the floor like this. Look at those eyes. They are simply bewildered beyond comprehension. Me, I have no eyes. So no emotion can be seen coming from this guy. Poor these girls. If they came when the relationship with Han was better, maybe they would not show such a face. Oh wait, Rachel should not be that disgusted, though. But well, what is new? Gaten. Listening to Han's advice, I approach the dining table and find myself a seat. Not going to lie, but I am really looking forward to drinking for the first time. There should be no issues, presumably. I was able to use my mouth to speak without any obstruction, so drinking should be fine. Oh, wait for a second, before sitting down, should I not have pulled out the chair for Laura? She is my girlfriend now, yes. That is what a gentleman should do. Damn, that was a huge blunder on my side. Sorry, Laura. Fake love or not, she has been treating me very nicely. It is normal to return the favor. Clearly, I am still not very used to this drastic change. Let me just stand up since she is not sitting down that fast. Oh, Laura, wait for me a bit. Let me pull this chair out for you. Gaten. There you go. Laura smiles brightly. Thanks, but I will be helping Rachel with getting the drinks. Kurikawa, you should come, too. Let's help the boys out. Together. At this point, Laura takes her hand off mine. Suddenly, my hand feels a little lonely. It cannot be helped, C-class rep has to let it go at some point. Wah. However, right after letting me go, she almost instantly grabs Kurikawa's arm and pulls the girl toward Rachel with her. The latter hardly has the chance to do anything at all. I can even hear a small yelp. Looking at that, Rachel looks somewhat puzzled. What are you doing? Come on, girls. Don't you want to show the boys your most feminine side? Laura moves even faster. Now, dear Rachel, can you show us where to get the drinks? This is your house, after all. Then, with a look of caution in her eyes, Rachel and the other two move toward the kitchen area where the fridge resides. We'll be right back. Laura beams at me from far away. Not knowing what to do, I just nod and decide to sit back down. At the same time, the protagonist chooses the chair right next to me. Hey, see. He talks to me in a whisper. It is clear he is trying to hide something from the girls. How did you manage to capture Laura's heart? Come on, share your secrets. You must be a pickup artist in your spare time, right? I can see the look of aspiration in his eyes as if he looks up to me like a teacher or something. Truth be told, I have no idea, man. The answer you are seeking, however, is non-existent. In fact, it is I who have to make the question. How do you plan on capturing the rest of the girls like this? Rachel is very much paying you less interest than ever before. Oh, wait. Maybe it is her plan. She is just playing hard to get. Of course, I will not say anything like that. I am not dumb. Rachel will put another hole in my ass if she hears me saying so. Bam. What was that? Han and I turn and look at the source of the sound. No worries. Rachel just slipped and cut the chopping board instead of the orange. Kurikawa explains. Oh. Is Rachel okay? The protagonist stands up. She's unharmed. Don't worry about it. You two can sit tight and wait for a couple minutes. We will be right out. The bookworm reassures us. If you say so. Now, see, where were we? No. You are supposed to walk over there to make sure she is fine. Do not sit here idly and have a chat while your childhood sweetheart is doing everything. This is something that you really need to work on if you want to survive longer, Han. The fact that you listen to whatever the heroines say is astoundingly naive. Sigh. I have to go have a look. If anything happens to Rachel's hands, she is pretty much dead. Don't worry, guys. From behind the kitchen counter, Laura takes Rachel's hands and puts them in the air, showing me the flawless skin she has. Rachel's fine, right? She just had a bit of a sneeze, that's all. That is good. Now that everything is safe. See. Please, man. I am dying because of loneliness here. Help a brother out, will you? The guy starts begging me for love advice. Trust me, my friend. You have no idea what dying because of the loneliness really means. Just like I told you, I don't know how she got infatuated with me. It is hard to believe, but that is the truth. Han stops for a second and thinks. So you are telling me that you had to do nothing, and still she confessed to you. You are putting it in a very peculiar way. And you are not that handsome, either. He mumbles. Yeah, I am not handsome like you, Han-sam. So what? When did it turn into a personal attack, you fucker? Crash. Something just got shattered over in the kitchen area. I just dropped a glass. Don't come here, see. There are pieces of glass all over this place, so you better sit tight since it can cut your feet. Laura looks at me with warmth. But then she turns her gaze to the protagonist. Eek. Immediately, he squeals. I didn't do anything. To be fair, I cannot be paying any attention to that guy right now. Is the class rep alright? Cuts on the feet can be dangerous, especially with no one with medical skills in this house. Kurikawa and Rachel are helping me with the cleanup. If you come too close, the shards will cut you, and I don't want that at all. What if I put the pillows underneath and slide across the room? No. You could fall. Trust me, okay, see. Even though I sit back down, anxiety still rises inside my chest. I guess Han and I both share the trait of being too docile. But seriously, I do not want to sit around waiting while my girlfriend is doing everything. This just feels unethical. Sigh. What should I do? Teach me, master. What if I put more pillows under my feet and one on each arm to sweep them across? Master. Please hear me out. Yeah. That would work. I could be safe from the shards and help them gather them all at once. But it will be very slippery with the pillows on the floor. Master. Please enlighten this stupid student of yours on how to get a girlfriend. Preferably a Yandere one. Han grabs me by the shoulders, praying for help. Who and what now? Chapter 34, This is my chance. I know this is an odd request, but please, teacher, master, sensei, show me your ways of getting a girlfriend. The protagonist stands straight from his seat and bows down to me, who have no clue what he is saying. What am I supposed to teach you when I am just as clueless as you are? However, despite my effort to let him down, Han still seems determined. No, I believe you must be doing something right. I don't think it was pure luck that you got confessed by Laura. See, please hear me out. You are so unknowingly good that you could get into a relationship without lifting a finger. And I would love to learn your way. No. That is not how it works. That is not how any of this works. You have to earn it, man. Do not expect girls to come at you like butterflies toward flowers. If you do not work toward your goals, how are they supposed to like you? Sitting around and waiting for love does not help you at all. Wait, who am I to say these things? He literally got many girlfriends without doing much. Han should be learning from himself, not me. This is ridiculous. However, I can give him hints regarding the girls, right? Yeah. Now we are talking. That will make the girls swoon over him much easier. As I said, Han, I have nothing to teach you. Please. Master. However, as someone who stands outside of everything, I can give you my point of view. Really? Han jumps up from his position. Will you really give me your opinion? I nod. Yeah. But really, man, don't expect much from me. I am most definitely not some love guru. Heck, I have never been in a relationship until today. Really? Are you sure? He looks at me with doubt in his eyes. Yes, you annoying protagonist. Why do I have to lie about being a forever alone guy? Do I really have to show you my virgin license? And why can I be not sure about my relationship status? Questions like that will get you killed, Han. I would love to punch you in the face just for that. Imagine talking like that to the girls. They are going to behead you and put it in a jar. I am 100% sure I have never been noticed by anyone. That sentence alone is enough to make a grown man cry. By a grown man, I mean me. Get back in there, tears. Well, brother, Han pats me on the shoulder while wiping a tear off his eye. We are very similar in that regard. Then he smiles handsomely. Seriously, I want to smack him in the face. You know nothing about me, you horny mutt. Actually, you know what, let's get started right away with the advice. Stealing my nerve to see the fear on his face, I suggest. Do you want to have a girlfriend? I will show you the way, you damn bastard. Whoa. Right now? Yes. Okay. Okay. Let me sit down and try to remember everything clearly. He pulls the chair out and sits diligently. Ahem. Excuse me while I mentally prepare myself as a teacher. This morning, I heard Kurikawa say something interesting about love. Did she? I don't really remember. What do you remember, then? She was literally talking to you. She said look no further than your line of sight. I am trying my hardest here to keep my voice from bursting out. Oh. That? Yes, I do remember her saying something along those lines. He then ponders for a second. Kurokawa sure likes to talk a little bit poetic. That sentence is a little vague, isn't it? Line of sight can be very far or near. Oh, God, the density of this guy's brain should have its own gravitational force. Sigh. Unknowingly, a deep sigh escapes my chest. Let me put it in another way for you. I did not expect this level of support right off the bat like this. Please do. He says. What do you think of Rachel? Rather than going around the bush, I will pinpoint what should be happening for him. It should more or less have an effect, right? Right. Rachel? She is my childhood friend. I appreciate her a lot for what she has done for me. Appreciate? That is not nearly enough, pal. She has done more for you than you will ever notice with your smooth brain. What have you done to show your appreciation? How long has she been by your side? Many years. So long I can't really remember anymore. It has been since kindergarten that Rachel has been with you. You guys are all 18 by now. That is more than a decade. I know you are like this because of the system, and I hope you can change that from now on, Han. Seriously. With Rachel, Kurokawa, and Laura, everyone being entirely different, they have a better chance than ever to achieve their happy endings. Just, pay a little more attention. Everyone needs it so desperately. Even you, Han. If it has been that long already, have you ever thought about her being interested in you? You guys technically live under the same roof. That has to mean something. No way. Han shakes his head from left to right. She is just being nice. Cooking, cleaning, doing the laundry, helping you up every morning, and taking care of your needs are not just being nice. She is like your own mom. God. He is making me furious. Do you want my opinion or not? Keep it together, see. Trying to keep your cool. From my point of view, it does not look like that. To me, Rachel seems to be very interested in you. Why don't you start there? What? For real? You think she has feelings for me? The protagonist points the finger at his face. I believe so. Maybe your childhood friend's feelings for you are much bigger and grander than you currently think. After all, do you seriously think a normal childhood friend would devote her all to making you feel satisfied and happy? Han leans back on his chair and looks up at the ceiling. Makes sense, thanks, see. But I still can't really believe it. Is it just a kind gesture, or is it really a romantic feeling from Rachel? Something is getting through his thick skull finally. I need to keep on pressing. One day, he will see it. I have high hopes for this. You are making the wrong assumptions here. He looks back at me. What do you mean? Why can't a kind gesture and love be from the same person? There is no need to separate them now, isn't it? Rachel can be doing all these things because she has feelings for you. Even if she does not love you, the feelings are much on the positive side. His mouth is wide open at this point, so much so that he cannot even reply to my words. Laura told me something when she confessed, too. What was it? You don't need to know about it. Just think of it like this. When dating someone, it does not need to be based on the premise of love. As long as you would like to understand the other party better, you can become a couple. He nods constantly. Of course. Of course. We're still young. We can experiment. Sigh. Some progress at last. But as I am about to continue, Han waves his hand to stop me. Wait. Let's talk in whispers. The girls may hear us. The guy suddenly keeps his voice down upon seeing something in his peripheral. 10. After his panic, a dish full of peeled fruits is presented in front of the two of us. What are you two talking about? Laura returns from the cooking area. Behind her are Rachel and Kurokawa. She puts a glass of water near me and sits down. The other two also choose a place to sit. Han's childhood friend does not look happy. I wonder why. However, I think there is a smirk on Kurokawa's lips. Nothing. Han instantly hides everything. That is not a good move. It only makes things more suspicious. We are talking about his love life. I point my finger at him. Oh. Rachel speaks up. Of course, she would. Out of everyone available here, she would have the highest chance to react to that. What have you guys been talking about? Her gaze is piercing both of us. The aquamarine color of her eyes is dark and very concerning. If looks could have a physical form, I would be impaled by now. Nothing. I swear. Nothing at all. See, we have not been saying anything weird, right? Haha. Right. Cold sweats start to form all over his face. I turn at him with a big smile, and he returns the gesture. He should be thinking that I am on his team. That would be totally wrong. We have not done anything weird, for sure. See, haha. Han laughs wryly. We have only discussed the future between you and Han. Chapter 35, Fruits and Drinks. She should have a red face out of embarrassment. She should be smiling out of joy because being with Han should be what she wants the most. It has always been like that. However, contrary to my beliefs, Rachel looks uninterested. I appreciate your thoughts, see. I really do. Oh, crap. That is not a good reply. Whenever I hear someone saying things similarly, I know already they think of the exact opposite. Not to mention, Rachel's facial features show nothing but a bitter expression. Han's childhood friend bites her lower lip. But at the moment, there is nothing going on between Han and me. It feels like she took all strength within her body to say so. If she is so uncomfortable with saying that, why keep trying? She leaves me thinking she hates being with him. That's right. See. You are mistaken. Rachel is like a sister to me, and I would not do anything to hurt that relationship. Han clarifies. Sigh, this is much more difficult than I thought. The guy was reaching an epiphany a few seconds before, and now it is back at square one. Yet, I have gone so far already that there is no way for me to turn back anymore. I need to strike when the iron is still hot. Well, from my point of view, you two are like two peas in a pod. If you are looking for a girlfriend, Han, why don't you start looking at Rachel as a love interest? Rachel stays silent while the look on her face is still blank. Honestly, what is she really thinking? And for you, Rachel, don't you want to be with Han as his official girlfriend? Not stopping there, I also fire my bullets at Rachel. Since I am targeting her directly like this instead of just the protagonist, I will make a dash instantly at the side of bad stuff. I agree with C. Next to me, Laura speaks up. You two do look like you could make a great couple. What about you, Kurikawa? What's your opinion on this? Han. Instead of answering the question, Kurikawa turns to the protagonist. As I said, look no further than your line of sight. The one closest to you right now should be a suitable choice for your love life. B, but the person on my line of sight right now is C. What the actual fuck? Even the three girls are all dead silent. Their faces are all blank. This is not dense anymore, Han. This is pure stupidity. Wait, hold on. I think I know what you mean. Maybe you also suggest I should think about our Rachel in a more romantic way. Geez, man. I was this close to flipping the table. Yes. Please. My voice is near the verge of breaking. God helps us all. Before we continue, C, please take a moment to drink some water. You have been talking for a while already. Right when I am about to continue, Laura calls out to me. She must have noticed my voice becoming more and more agitated. Phew. I really need to cool down a bit. Drinking a little water should help ease my mind from wanting to kick Han in the nuts. If it was given by Rachel, I would have thought many times before receiving the thing. Thankfully, this was handed to me by my current girlfriend. There should be nothing wrong with it. Thanks, class rep. Right when I am about to grab the glass, Laura takes a sip from it and then gives it back to me. Ah. Let me also have some, first. This is only for security. You never really know whether or not Rachel put anything weird in the water. Ouch. Rachel does not like that at all. She would not do such a thing to her friends. Laura, you are just joking around. Kurikawa chuckles. Big doubt. Strangely, even though Kurikawa is trying to clear the suspicion, I feel even more drawn toward it. The way she puts it is very counterintuitive. It is as if she is trying to stress even more so. That's right. Rachel would never do that. Han steps up to defend his childhood sweetheart. Never mind this guy. He is a simpleton anyway. I will pay close attention since the class rep is correct about Rachel. What Laura said should be only a joke to her, but to me, I need to keep that thought in mind. Even though it has been countless times, until today, I still have no idea where Rachel has been keeping the sleeping drug. Although I tried looking for them, I never found any trace. Because of that, I guess there is a 99% chance she always carries the pills. To drug Han, she will have to use either foods or drinks. Now the more important thing is if the water is indeed contaminated, how would we know? Personally, I have no clue. The water tastes fine, Laura confirms the state of what she had. Sorry for doubting you, Rachel. The class rep pushes the glass of water back to me. At the same time, Laura takes a piece of fruit from the plate in front of me. See, take a sip. It's refreshing. Oh, and you should also try this apple. That piece has a cute cut. It is peeled to look like a rabbit. I did that. Kurikawa raises her hand. What do you think? You have good knife skills, you will be a good wife in the future. Like hell am I going to say those cringe-worthy words? Besides, those kinds of sentences should not be coming from me. It's cute. That is all I am going to tell her. Thanks. Kurikawa smiles happily. Is it just me, or is the bookworm blooming? Her smile is beautiful so suddenly right after my compliment. It is weird how simple mundane praise can make her smile that gorgeously. Whoa. From another seat, Han unconsciously gasps. Immediately, I ask him. What do you want? You are indeed the master. With just a small compliment and already made Kurikawa like that. The protagonist looks at me with admiration. Hey. I don't know anything, okay. She is like that on her own without my influence. I will follow you for the rest of my life. The guy is determined. Do what you want, man, you are the boss. I am not going to lie, but all this talking is taking a toll on me. My throat is burning. Would you believe that? This is the first time ever I have had a dry throat. Here. Laura brings up the glass of water. Thanks. Gulp. A cooling sensation travels from my mouth down my throat to my stomach. Just like how I was able to talk with my mouth, the act of drinking feels natural. Every muscle in my body somehow knows how to work together without any thought. Even so, I feel a weird sense of being whole a little more, similar to an unfinished jigsaw puzzle with another piece perfectly put inside. It is difficult to explain clearly since this is philosophical, so you all have to take my word for it. Here, Han. You should also have a drink. I hear Rachel's voice talking to her childhood friend. Oh. Thank you, Rachel. Gulp gulp gulp. Those are some loud gulping sounds. Are you done with the water, see? Laura asks. Yeah, I'm good. Then it's time for you to have my rabbit-cut apple. Kurikawa enthusiastically looks at me. Well, not her, to be precise, but her bangs. You all should know what I mean by that. Say ah. The class rep brings up the fruit. Of course, with so many people looking at me, there is no way for me to accept such an embarrassing thing. Can I decline the feeding? However, Laura gives me a knowing smile without answering. What do you think? It seems it is best that I accept my fate. Ah. There you go. Nom. Crunchy, sweet, not so tangy with an apple-y taste. It is delicious. The piece is very juicy. With every bite, I could feel my mouth being washed by its taste. Especially when this is the first time I get to eat something, this is going to become a core memory. Coincidentally, Han is also eating the same thing. The only difference between us is that he is eating on his own. Rachel is not feeding him. Rather than focusing on her childhood sweetheart, she is just staring intensely at me. Yawn. I feel tired. Yawn. Oh, Laura is also yawning. I guess she is also feeling drowsy. Ugh. My vision is getting blurry. Chapter 36, The Conditions. Hello, C. C. Are you okay? I gently push the sleeping body of my boyfriend. Can you hear me? If you fake this, I will give you a kiss. Usually, I would hear his voice inside my head. But now, inside my head is only my voice. His has disappeared. We got him. Is it done on your side, too? Placing a hand on C's head and stroking his hair, I ask Rachel. The psycho then goes up close to Han and opens his eyelids. With a cold voice, she replies. Knocked out. And don't worry a thing. This guy won't even hear a bomb exploding next to him when he is asleep. She is not soft on him, I see. How she comes up with that statement, I do not really care. The system probably gave it to her. Next to me, Kurikawa starts explaining. It should work longer than the past trials with the extra dosage. They should be completely tranquilized by now. My fingers touch C's face gently like caressing a gem, afraid of hurting him. Finally, my boyfriend can have a nice rest after today. I can no longer hear C's thoughts, so that should be a good sign. As I glance over his sleeping face, it is so peaceful and carefree. If only I could bring it to him without all this planning and hiding. If only there were two of us in this world. So sorry, my dear. We just really need to do this. I whisper. My heart is being torn apart by the dilemma I have created. I would do anything other than this when there was another way. But regrettably, there exists none. The only way for me to be by his side and talk about the actual condition to the others would be to let him have a nap. Although we did use more sleeping drugs than usual, it should not cause much of an issue onto C's body. The medication is mild, after all. Not stopping there, the bookworm starts pondering, seemingly trying to figure something out. Therefore, that makes me think, Rachel. While running my fingers through his hair, I focus more on Kurikawa's words. Still, he is everything that my eyes are seeing. The other Rachels may have wanted Han to wake up in the act. From the corners of my visual field, I can see the psycho immediately turning her chilling gaze at Kurikawa. What do you mean? However, Kurikawa has grown familiar with her stare. She is not that scary when that psycho is not doing anything but looking, to be honest. What I mean is the old you wanted Han to wake up while forcing yourself on him. It was not because the drugs lost their effects. It was based on your will. Now, this is very interesting. I would like to join this discussion. Rachel could have been under the influence, don't you think so, Kurikawa? With C's thoughts out of the way, we know nothing about each other anymore. From this moment until he wakes up, I will have to base everything on what we have, not his experience. Possibly. I think Rachel wanted Han to know she would have her ways, with his approval or not. That could have been a statement because Han would never make a move on her. In short, rather than being a coincidence like C thought, Han's being awake was also planned beforehand. That's outrageous. I am not that kind of person. There would be no way for me to be that shameless. Rachel denies it vehemently. Kurikawa shakes her head from left to right. Of course, the current you are not. I'm only talking about the past. If you didn't want Han to see you doing that, why not use a stronger dose? The amount for an adult was clearly noted on the bottle. Rachel goes silent. Evidently, she knows the truth. No matter how much Rachel denies it, it is true she was carrying the drugs on her all time. She must have had everything mapped before committing. Rachel gave them to us to spike the food and drinks, after all. For that, I am ashamed. See, we are nothing but a bunch of disgusting characters in this world. Besides, you needed to become his girlfriend. We all know that. That should also be your motives. That's enough, Kurikawa. I don't care about that. At least, not anymore. She tells the bookworm to stop. I agree. We should focus on something more in the present. Laura, let's not waste any more time, shall we? The conversation has shifted to me. I know, bookworm. Pie. She just sent me a glare. He can call me that. Not you. Okay. Kurokwa. Stressing each part of her name, I continue. Seeing me becoming more erratic, Rachel quickly interrupts us. No need to be snide. Rather than bickering, we should move these two out of this place. We don't want them to wake up during our conversation, do we? Rachel has a point there. C has already been suicidal already, and it shows very clearly in his carefree actions. If he hears us, the consequences will be dire. It will end with all of us losing consciousness, possibly our sentience, too. Plus, our memories will also be wiped clean. Kurosawa nods in agreement. Sadly for them, their target has been clear as day. They will not let their deception pass by my ears. I have a better idea. Why don't we go to one of the rooms, close the door, and just whisper to each other? Not a fraction of a moment that I can relax around you two. TCH. TCH. These girls. 1 second of losing my focus, and there would be no way back. They are nothing but two enraged sharks in front of a plump seal. I know they are. Because I am, too. You know the door, right, Rachel? The psycho is furious as she stands up and walks out of the pillowy kitchen. Shut the hell up, you snob. Sorry. What about you, Kurikawa? Unexpectedly, that nerd says nothing. She just stands up and follows the other one. Seeing them gone, I can feel myself taking in a breath. The mental stress I have suffered from paying attention every minute is immense. From the moment we left the school until now, I had to concentrate on the tiniest movements of everyone, especially the two other girls. Luckily, I did not make a mistake. It still made a burden in my head, do not get me wrong. I will leave for a second, my faceless prince. Sleep tight, darling. Whispering those words to my savior, C subconsciously scratches his ears. He is just so adorable. How can such an adorable creature have so much courage and patience to save me in the past? He did not have the help of the story nor the setups it gave him like mine. Everything he did was purely on his own. C is strong. Much stronger than I am. A few seconds later, we all gather in one of the rooms of this villa. Please close the door behind you, Laura. Rachel says. Kachuk. Take a seat. Kurikawa points me to a location. Thanks. The room we are in, one of the bedrooms, is equipped with everything you can think of in an expensive hotel room. Huge bed, pillows, it even has a fridge. Then again, this place is the villa of the main character, so it has to be like that. Hee hee. I let out a small chuckle. Rachel instantly catches onto me. She really has a problem with my existence. What seems to be the problem? Nothing. I'm just thinking how C would be this bastard sleeps on a bed like this while my house is made of doodle lines if he was here. Hee hee. Kurikawa laughs. He would definitely think like that. It is one of his charms, after all. Rachel does not say anything. Yet the smirk at the corner of her lips betrays her. My boyfriend's charm is already enough for you to smile like a little girl. Even more so, he does not need to be here. Ahem. Okay, enough chit-chat. Let's begin. She says. As I am making myself comfortable, I send the bookworm a look. Why don't we restate our initial plan? Kurikawa, you were the one with the details. I would like to hear it from you first. Kurikawa then adjusts her posture. Alright, I guess I should start with the basics of our conditions. Chapter 37, Conditions. 1. Under no circumstances can C learn about the newfound sentience of the members in this discussion. The members are namely Kurikawa, Rachel, and Laura. 2. Under no circumstances can C learn about this meeting. This condition includes but is not limited to direct or indirect conversation, sign language, notes, emails, and other forms of information sharing. 3. Each participant in this meeting has the duty to keep the information about C's thoughts hidden from him. If he finds out about his ability, the one who created the problem will have to follow the influence until the end or have their life taken away by the others. Since we are dying anyway, we should make your death as painful as possible. 4. When there is a new heroine, the participants in this meeting will work together to drive her or them away. Dead or alive. Preferably dead and prioritizing secrecy. However, the situation can change depending on C's thoughts. I started by rephrasing each condition we made prior when C focused on coaching Han. It was lucky that the protagonist took away his attention when we were in the kitchen area. Any questions? Rachel quickly raises her hand. What about individual circumstances? Personally, that is indeed a good question. I have been meaning to talk about that, as well. Sadly, I know the answer when my eyes meet the class rep. Each will be on their own. Laura's amber eyes focus on Rachel. Unlike C, I do not know her well, so I cannot read what emotions are bottling inside her pupils. The only thing that I can see is a pure annoyance. These conditions we made here are not for your entertainment. They exist solely for one reason. And that is keeping the secret away from being noticed. If C somehow knows we can hear his thoughts, he will, without a doubt, kill himself to reset the world. We will potentially have our sentience wiped clean. That to me is dying. Laura explains in a stern tone. Personally, the way she is putting this is just another I care nothing for your own circumstances. It is simple for her to say that. She is the only one with total freedom right at this point. Since the class rep was only a side character, the influence placed upon her was definitely not as strong as those upon Rachel and me. Because of that reason, even though Rachel is a psycho and will do many heinous things to achieve her goals, she is not that dangerous. Those actions she did were in the past. The current Rachel has not been doing anything drastic. Laura, however. The one I need to keep an eye on is not Han's childhood friend but Laura. One who holds freedom holds a tremendous amount of potential. And under the premise of a Yandere of this world, Laura's potential turns into destruction. Sensing my gaze, the class rep smiles. Don't you agree with me, Kurikawa? Yes, I do agree with her. If I were the one who got her freedom, I would do the same thing. Regrettably, I am not free. Not yet. I think it is only fair to help one another. There are 3 of us only, and a lot more obstacles have yet to show up. Come on, Kurikawa. Do you seriously believe I'm going to fall for that? Laura shakes her head. At this point, we all know each other. Let me be frank with both of you. I am not going to let myself get erased this time. The enormous debt that I have to pay C is something I will handle myself. As for you or Rachel, there is no reason for you to pay attention to my boyfriend except for the freedom he grants. Even though she does not talk too loud, the cold tone of her voice clearly proves she is irritated. You are wrong, says the psycho. I don't think I am. Face it, Rachel. There is nothing for you to gain aside from being free. Unless he wants to help you, which I doubt he will, stay away from my man. KRRRRT. A paper knife appears in Laura's hand. As she twists her wrist, the polished blade reflects the light off its surface onto Rachel's face. I am not just approaching him for my own good. I want to make it up to him, also. Rachel's time is running out. The alleged sex scene she has with Han is about to commence. That girl must be desperate right now. I know that because my event is coming, too. Albeit it is later tomorrow, I still do not know what I will encounter and who I will face. The unknown is terrifying. Its shackles are equally heavy on my body. Because of that, I understand how Rachel must be feeling. The anxiety of knowing your fate but literally cannot change it in any way is devastating to her. Similar to me, there is no way she wants to have her body controlled to have sex with Han like that. No one wants to have their body forced into coercion. It is nauseous just thinking about such a thing. What you are doing is monopolizing, class rep. He is not yours. Not holding back anything, I confront Laura. If we want to do anything, it is now. Hearing me standing up for her, Rachel looks at me, surprised by my intervention. I don't give a damn about your problems. C is mine. Stick with your own thing, and we will have no issue. This talk is the only official warning for you to stay away from my boyfriend. Laura claims coldly. No. I will not give up like that. Don't you think that there will be a time you will need us to help you? Something so powerful that not even your freedom can eliminate? Don't you remember the theme of this world? What if all the other girls are here? What if they are all hostile? If she keeps hogging him up like this, we will never have the chance to be free. Soon enough, Rachel's event will start. To speak the truth, I have no idea what will happen once her event finishes. She could be the same as she is right now. But she could also be the same psycho we know from C's memories. There is no way to be sure. Are you seriously trying to hold C back from us so that you will cause harm to him because of your selfishness in the future? Kurikawa is right. You got your freedom. Therefore it is time to let someone else have it. Your current action is not beneficial to C since you are limiting his choices. After all that he has been through, don't you feel he needs to change? Rachel stands up from her position. Are you trying to guilt trip me? Very well. Then tell me this, Rachel, Kurikawa. From the bottom of your heart, do you love him? Could you stand up to him and say that, huh? Could you say to yourself that you want to be by his side? She stares at both of us. Her words strike me down like a hammer. Oh. Rachel stutters. I remain silent after those words. Slowly but surely, C's featureless face appears in my head. His thoughts run through my mind. They are ever so vibrant, so unbound, and carefree. And his spirit, free as a white dove flying under the blue sky. Sadly, This world gave him his shackles. Those are the endless resets he has to go through, without any way to change that fate. The memory I saw was still clear to me. I remember the crimson color of C's blood painting the door to the rooftop a sickly red. My ears ring his cries. Inside of my chest is his desperation on the day Laura died. They were still so vivid. The moment he jumped off the building out of despair was like a movie. I want to be free from this curse. But I cannot lie to him. I can never do that. How could I betray the feelings of someone who has been through so much pain and agony like him? It is true what Laura said. At best, I am only interested in C. Look at you two. Exploiting my boyfriend because you are bound by something invisible. Laura points at the two of us. I can't say it, class rep. I open my lips. But you, don't even think you are perfectly clean. Not even for a second. Stressing each word, I continue. You lied to him. In front of C's face, in front of his trust, you betrayed him by not drinking that water. He surely didn't notice the amount of water not decreasing, and you took advantage of his trust. Pathetic, Laura. Rachel scoffs. I almost forgot you did that. You keep coming on us all high and mighty. But in the end, you are the one who lied. Is it not me or Kurikawa who tried drugging him, but you? Why don't you stop for a moment and look at your disgusting hypocrisy? No need to care about me. I will atone for my sins. Laura looks down while her voice softens. At this point, I take a deep breath and come close to her. C deserves to have unlimited choices. His life has never had any chances like each of us, but worse since he was aware of it. You are putting him in a cage and feeding him whatever you can provide? Do you know what will happen if you do that? What? My eyes dart at Rachel. Another Han. Laura is clearly taken back by my words. No. It's coming. Suddenly, Rachel's face gets paled as her body starts stiffening up. Right after that, an invisible force takes control of her body, and she starts to move toward the door. It looks like her event has started at last. In that short amount of time, my eyes meet hers. What makes it clear to me that Rachel is in total hopelessness is the change in the aquamarine color she used to have. No more the shiny, lively aquamarine eyes. It is a plain, dull blue. It is void of hope. Thud. But yet again, the class rep and I are both stunned by Han's childhood friend. Using the last of her mental strength, Rachel quickly kneels and prostrates herself in front of Laura's feet. Please, Laura. I don't want to do this. Please. I need help. Her voice is cracking up, and tears are already flowing. Please, please, don't let Han do this to me, I just need a touch from C. Her body shakes violently. I do not know if it is because of her crying or the system anymore. I'm greatly sorry. See you in the morning, Rachel. I will do whatever you say afterward. Jay, just let me touch him for a second, I beg you, Laura. Good night. Laura looks away. Then, with a body as stiff as a robot, Rachel stands up as if nothing has happened and walks outside. Han is still waiting for her in the kitchen. Chapter 38, Rachel a Second Chance. Despite my efforts, my feet keep moving toward the kitchen where Han was drugged at the same time as C, as if I am a mere observer of my own body. I can do absolutely nothing. Behind me, Laura and Kurikawa are staring while following in my footsteps. I can feel the coldness of the gazes. They want to keep their eyes on me, to make I cannot do anything weird. Around me, except for the soft sound of the footsteps, there is no more sound coming from behind. Even after kneeling and prostrating, begging for help, they still did not help but watch me leave the room. Laura and Kurikawa still did not budge with my prostration. Even when I took down my ego, when my head and palms touched the cold hard floor, nothing. My lowest was a mere inconvenience to those two. Until I left, they only stared at me heartlessly. Although mentally prepared, I am still ashamed and disappointed by them. Now, if my body is not in my control, I can still let them have a piece of my mind. I am going down, but with grace. You, Laura, are nothing but an old Rachel now. It is so ridiculous that I would cry laughing. See these tears on my face? Those are not because of grief. They are there because of you. Is that not just the most hilarious thing ever? I feel like I am looking in a mirror if we talk about our love languages. Your current actions and the old me are so similar. You and I are not much different, you selfish Yandere prick. As for you, Kurikawa, look at how much of a coward you are. You nerd. Kurikawa, can I be frank? You don't even deserve to be among the heroine of this world. I hate you more than the class rep, truthfully. You want to break free of this curse but hesitate to take action. Those who observe are even less than the perpetrator. Despicable. Truly despicable. If my body was still under my control, I would have murdered both of you. I regret not doing it from the start. Shut it, Rachel. You would do the same if you were in my shoes. Laura coldly replies. Strangely enough, Kurikawa is silent. Not that I am going to stop because of that. What are you going to do next, Laura? Aren't you going to let Han do the same to Kurikawa as you're doing to me? Remember, bookworm, what she is doing right now will be done again. Do you think she will let you go off the hook like that? Walking in front of the two of them, although I do not know what is really going behind, I can take a guess. Most definitely, Laura and Kurikawa should have a stare down. I should have never begged for help. Then again, asking for help was the dumbest idea on my part. Why did I put my trust in those two? That was simply asking for problems. Sorry, Rachel. Too bad for you, but this is how it goes. Laura's right. Don't you want this? Look at the results, Rachel. Look at it and weep. Who is going to help you now, you dumb bitch? When the people around you can lend a hand, they still pretend like nothing is happening. Not only that, but they turn to look at another place, leaving you to deal with an uncontrollable force on your own. That is the reality of this world, Rachel. Nay, that is the reality of every world. People will be the same no matter where you are. Is this what abandonment feels like? Is this what loneliness feels like? It is, cold, freezing, almost. See, I need you. No one else besides you could understand all of this. I get it now. Only you can explain to me why I have to endure this pain. Seriously, I can fully comprehend why this disgusting game and plot are forced upon me. Why, me? Why, now? This is so unfair. Why could I not be the old Rachel without any knowledge of her own about this world? At the least, it would not feel this painful. It is because I know about this world and see that I have to suffer this way. Not to mention Rachel right now, me right now, has two different men in her mind. Han and one featureless guy. At this very moment, when my body is being controlled by the system to sleep with Han, I still think about him. As someone who has been through the same thing, you are the sole person who can make it mean something. While living by yourself, without anyone helping, how did you cope with it all? I still think about you. Never mind the reason. Those are simply redundant as meaning is close to nothingness. Do I need to say why I think about someone? Is it not so obvious? I just want to be with them. Is that so much to ask for? If only one of them did not exist. This game, this system, if only none of them exist at all, then maybe, just maybe, I could get to know you a bit more. See, will you still accept me in another life? Because honestly, I really do not want to do this at all. You will accept me, right? You will not shun me away, right? I will be good this time, I promise. I am not the same person I used to be, can you not see it? Please, please, do not doubt me for another time. I have changed. Really, I have changed. The fabric in front of my chest feels cold because of the water running from above it. My face is drenched. As I drag my heavy feet across the wooden floor, I try to gain control of my body to the fullest extent of my power. Because of that, like a broken doll, I keep shaking non-stop. Oh, the struggle when I try. Sadly, it does not work. To be fair, nothing works anymore. Soon after exiting the room, I come into the kitchen once again. There, lying on the table in the middle of this mansion, are two sleeping guys, Han and Si. Since they were talking about finding Han a girlfriend, their positions are close. Laura unexpectedly walks past me. I know why. As the selfish bitch she is, the class rep is making him unapproachable for me. Until the very end, she is still that overprotective. Just like the old Rachel, haha. Hilarious. Utterly hilarious. Ha 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 ha. Through my cracked voice, I laugh. You are so much like me, class rep. She stares at me, not saying a word. Her body tenses up, awaiting a hit from me. Sorry, I have no strength anymore. 10 steps, then 5, then 2. The distance closes quickly. Han is now in front of my eyes, snoring. Next to him is the telepathic guy without a face. If only one did not exist. My hand reaches out to Han, shaking with each small motion I make. There is one last resort I would like to make. I am going to take everyone down with me by making a reset. When Han dies, the system should take everything away. Hopefully, when that happens, I pray I will keep my sentience. Laura, you can protect C away from me. But you missed Han. As for the bookworm, not much should I consider. Kurikawa will not pay attention to my childhood friend at this point, as C said. This is the one method I have left to save myself from the disgrace I am about to commence. Killing Han means the reset of the entire world. Since Laura and Kurikawa are not helping me, it would be better just to die together. With all my mental energy, my arms reach out as they shake violently. One side of me being controlled keeps holding back, while the other part keeps pushing forward. Han's neck is right there, my breakthrough is right there, and I can do it. I know I can. I just need to keep forcing myself. Guh. A forceful groan escapes my mouth. Fighting back the influence, I can feel the pulse coursing through my veins and into my arms. There must be a vein popping on my forehead right now. Laura shakes her head. I see that you are trying to kill Han. Are you seriously going to kill the one you used to love so much? Is this how much your affection is worth? How many years? 10. 15. Shut up. Pathetic. Shut up. Nevertheless, Laura is right. Fake feelings or not, it should have been in my blood. No. My feelings for Han should be ingrained into my entire being itself. Every fiber and cell in me screams for me to stop because this is someone I hold dear. It is a conflicting feeling. Soon after I touch Han's neck, I realize this is where I will stop. The forces placed upon me are too strong for me to make the final killing blow. I cannot kill him like this. The reality is harsh. I do not even have the chance to force a reset. I do not have a chance to undo everything. See, please, wake up. Please. Whoosh. Huh. Laura is tackled down to the floor. What? What are you doing, Kurikawa? Thud bam. Sounds of something heavy hitting the floor can be heard. Gah. Right after that, Laura screams in pain. What are you waiting for? Touch him, god fucking damn it. This is a 1 in a million chance. Kurikawa has pushed Laura away from C by using her whole body weight. Without missing a beat, I immediately reach out for C. It is obviously much easier to move toward him than trying to break the neck of my childhood friend. No. Stay away from him. I can hear the scream of Laura while she is trying to get up. She does not care anymore whether he will wake up or not. Let me go. Thud. But. Tough luck, class rep. Thud. Guh. Enough. Krrrt. Chick. Do you think stabbing me with that tiny paper knife will help? Slap. You bitch. Let go. Now. Chick crack. Ha 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 ha. What do you have now without your blade? Ratchieel. Laura screams hard. But then, Kurikawa holds Laura's long hair and yanks it down. I'm still here, asshole. Kaya. Thud. The commotion that bookworm created has turned bloody all of a sudden. On the ground, the crimson red liquid is all over the place because of their fight. I have no idea why she does so, but this is a favor that is close to saving my life. In less than a second, my heartbeat turns rapid thanks to the adrenaline rushing through my veins. I can feel my whole heating up because of that. Trying to ignore the influence of the system, I push myself to one side, where C is sleeping still. Ratchieel. Laura's amber eyes have a crazy look to them. Yet, I pay it no mind. Do it. Now. Kurikawa tries her best to hold that crazy person back. There is no room for mistakes anymore. It is just the faceless guy and me. He is there. C is sleeping there. My hope lies on the table. It is inside of that small and frail body. The light of my freedom. My hand touches C. An awkward silence starts between us three. At this point, we are all waiting for the final verdict on Kurikawa's sudden attack. Laura has also stopped her berserk stage. She knows it is too late. Personally, I am expecting an electric shock. I am expecting a relief more than anything. 1 second. 2 seconds. But, I feel the same. There is no change. Pat pat. Not just merely touching him, I start to rub my hands on his head and his face. The results were still the same. No shackles burst open, and no influence disappears. I am still the same heroine named Rachel. Ha ha, ha 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 ha, heek ha, heek. I plunge onto the floor. My knees have given up. Covering my face with both hands, I try to laugh it off. It is difficult to do so since I keep getting my true weeps coming out. Ha, heek, ha ha, but why all is lost. After all of that, my fate is still sealed. I just want to die so bad. My mental state has now been shattered to pieces. Not waiting too long, the system takes control of my body. The difference is, this time, I no longer have the will to resist. Why doesn't it work? It worked on you. Kurikawa asks Laura. I don't know. Laura looks stunned. Thud. My body stands up and pulls Han down to the floor. From here, we will make a trip upstairs. Please, kill me. Chapter 39, Only One Standing. Where am I? This place, I certainly am not inside Han's gigantic mansion anymore. I remember I felt heavy and sleepy all of a sudden. And now, somehow, I arrive at this place. All day long, weird things happen to the rest of the cast. It should be my turn this time. This is the school, is it not? Wait. Not just the school, it is right at the gate. Although at this point in time, it is relatively empty compared to the usual morning. Then where are all the people? I look around for a little while and see no one until Han's childhood friend walks out next to someone. Quite unexpected. Why is it just Rachel here? Who is she talking to? Should she not be with Han? Maybe, just maybe, I am in my own dream. I know it is a dumb conclusion, but it is the only one I have. I understand there should be a weird occurrence within a dream, yet this makes no sense. Absolutely none. This thing should be made from memories, right? It is a mechanism of the brain to make us remember. What do the scientists say? To make a short-term memory a long-term memory? Whatever. More importantly, I do not remember the scene where Han's childhood friend is having a private conversation with someone other than the main cast like this, especially at this location. It should not exist. Because of that, it has piqued my curiosity. Observing the two, I can see that she looks angry and annoyed. You know, the usual. Good grief. At least Rachel is her usual self in my dream. Even though I try making my way closer, there is still nothing that I can hear. As if my ears were blocked, the only sound I could make out from the conversation was the sound of a murmur. To be fair, I cannot even see my own body, so this kind of weirdness does not make it too over the top. I am getting used to it already. Shortly after the first few exchanges, the discussion turns violent between the two. Well, not between them, per se Rachel is simply beating that figure and banging that person's head onto the school gate. One point worth taking notes on. That is not even once that person resists. They take it like a champ. Or a punching bag, depending on your definition of a champion. Remember, I do not judge unless you are a furry. Jokes aside, I do not clearly see who that person is since they are covered in a veil of shadow, but I admire them. A lot, actually. From now on, I will call them shadow people. A fitting name for someone, well, wrapped in shadow like that. No matter who you are, shadow person, even when you are only in my dream, you still deserve my respect for making Rachel furious like that. I do not recall the last time I had the guts to do so. Maybe never. Phew. Even under the heavy attacks of Rachel, shadow person still says something to make Han's childhood friend even madder. Hearing his words, Rachel screams at him one more time. In addition to her yelling, she slams their head so hard that it bends the metal bars behind them. All of that beating has made his head a total mess. Yet despite the bleeding of his scalp, the shadow person tries their best to convey something. Murmur. The more he talks, the more Rachel is confused. I lean in even closer, curious about what the person is saying. Companion. Companion. What is up with that? After his final words, the person limps down, completely motionless. Seeing the state of the shadow person, Rachel runs back inside, not saying a word. She has ignored him completely. I guess they either die or pass out. I do not know for sure since I am no doctor. Rachel. Why are you still there? But that is impossible. I just saw her running back. For some reason, she also has a bitter look on her face. It is hard to explain or put it into words, but she seems like a different person to me. Her eyes do not have the former craziness like when she hit that shadow person. On the contrary, I am looking at something I never thought I would see in her. Guilt. She stands there and looks at the limp body of that shadow person silently, not saying a word. I am not going to lie. This is very weird. If I did not know better, I would have thought Rachel had a twin sister who was interested in this person or they were in a relationship. The bigger sister went and killed the person because of something they said. On the other hand, the younger sister was grieving for something her sister did after arriving at the scene. Unless she has bipolar disorder, which I doubt she does, Rachel is making me feel like there are two of her. The older twin Rachel is her old self, and the younger twin Rachel is the one I have been interacting with this whole day. Then why the heck is Rachel looking like that? She used to be a ruthless killer. A menace to Han's harem. She killed and murdered others without remorse. In her eyes, there should be no regret or guilt. Yet there we are, looking at a completely different Rachel. Even her clothes are also not similar. They are clean with no blood stains on them. Wait a second. Clean. How on earth is she untouched? I literally saw the blood splashed onto her outfit. Now that I am looking at her closely, Rachel is giving me no sign of the fight which just happened. Her hair is well kept, her makeup is still nicely done, and her shirt does not have many wrinkles. In short, this Rachel seems like she just arrived here. Are they really the same person? Who am I kidding? Why do I even need to use logic? This is a mere dream. Of course, there can be two Rachels. There can be a gazillion Rachels. Who knows? I like this Rachel more. Not because she is not as ruthless as the other one, or not because she feels pain, not any of that. She feels humane. I would like to get to know this Rachel more, honestly. She may become a good companion. What now? Rachel is disappearing into thin air. Shadow person, too. Oh, I get it. The dream is probably coming to an end. Everything within my visual field slowly fades and gives way to the darkness. However, I did not have to stay inside the dark for too long, as I was finally brought back to reality. Instead of seeing the table I fell asleep on, the first person I see after the darkness has faded is, you guess it right, Han. Han. The male protagonist. What the fuck? At least give me one of the girls to look at first. Why him? Did I sleepwalk? From the kitchen to his room? I do not think I have that ability. Why am I looking at his sleeping face? This is so awkward. Step. Suddenly, I hear someone coming in. A familiar face. It is Rachel. No, not quite Rachel. She looks more like the one I saw in my dream now. This is not Rachel, the murderer. No. This is the one who had guilt inside of her eyes. When the first one left. Even in the dimly lit room, I could still see the humane expressions on her face. There is no Yandere Rachel. There is only Rachel. In her eyes, sadness, grief, and despair keep flowing out. Those feelings create pearl-like tears with the help of the lighting. The front of her uniform has been drenched by the water coming from above. Heek heek heek. How long has she been crying? And why? Rachel is not feeling happy. No, I have seen enough of the scene to know her real emotions. Han never noticed this, but whenever Rachel was happy, the corner of her lips would twitch. That habit formed since she forced herself to be calm when she, in reality, wanted to smile when she received something precious from him. All of that because he said her big smile was creepy. Right now, Rachel is not doing any of that. Her tears are certainly not tears of joy. Those crystal clear droplets are made from grief and sorrow. Was I wrong? Throughout this whole day, she has been staying away from Han. I did not know what was going on. She only wanted to show she did not want to be by his side. At first, I did not believe that one bit. However, is this not the best proof? Is this not the same person I felt she could be a great companion when the first Rachel left? My brain is telling me something. Rachel has feelings. She wants to be with whoever she wants to be. What I was doing was just interfering with her life without her consent. Han's childhood friend never needed me to do it. It is wrong for me to treat them as characters. They are not. Even if they were, inside this wretched world where the girls will fight, they are no less than me. With or without sentience, I should not treat them like objects. Rachel is a person of her own. Nay. Everyone is a person of their own. Now, looking at this scene, I know one thing for sure. She does not want to do this. She just does not. For the sake of the plot, am I really driving people to do things they hate? Then again, if she hates it, why does it at all? Is something forcing her to do this? Maybe the game is fixing everything back on track. He kill me. Don't he make me do this. Rachel opens her mouth for the first time after a while. Kill. Is she talking to me? She is technically begging. Okay. I hear the voice of the class rep from behind her. Thank you. I'm sorry for this. I hope you understand and forgive my selfishness. A cold, steely knife appears from behind Rachel. It is Rachel's favorite weapon. The hand holding that knife has many cuts and wounds, signaling a gruesome battle that has just finished. What are you doing, Laura? No. What have you done? Take care of Heek for me. He is a good guy, Heek. The class rep embraces Rachel from behind. I will. Rest easy. What are you doing? Stop. Rachel. Laura. Chick. Splash. With a swift yet clumsy motion, Laura slices Rachel's throat off. Guh. Gwa. Ak. Tasanke, Kaiwa. In a shower of blood, only one was left standing still. Chapter 40, Laura, the things I do for love. After seeing Rachel off, there are only two girls left. As I stand in front of Kurikawa, she observes me while still bleeding from her wounds. At this point, the dark red color has smeared itself all over the floor because of our previous fight. I notice her right arm has an extended cut from my paper knife. Even after all of the lacerations and cuts, on her face is a neutral expression. There is no pain, no discomfort, and no grief. In fact, Kurikawa does not show a sign of giving up. With her bangs still covering the upper half of her face, I have no idea what she is thinking. An intense silence is between us. We are both waiting for the other person to say the first word. Whatever she is thinking, it is probably an insult. It is easy to guess despite not being able to read her facial expressions. What I did to Rachel cannot be considered fair in any way. And just like Rachel said, there would be no way to be sure I would not abandon Kurikawa to the system. When her event starts, there is a chance of me letting it happen again. But no, she will not have to do her event. I am sorry, Kurikawa, for doing this. Once again, I steal my nerve. She remains silent. Please understand that Rachel has to be gone if I want to be with C. They all have the right to become free. For any human, the first and foremost right is to be free. We all have those rights. Living inside this world, every single one of us is a puppet under the system. Unfortunately for Rachel and Kurikawa, I chose my happiness rather than working together to find a way out of it. I am selfish. I want things to be between C and me only. And because of my selfishness, I took Rachel's chance to become free. Nonetheless, I do not regret it. Rachel is the most unpredictable out of us three. If left alone, she will have the power to decimate us. She is one of the main heroines, while I am only a side character. Unlike Rachel or you, Kurikawa, I am not supposed to be living for long. My destiny is to be killed under her hands. Do you seriously think I should keep her around? There is one thing that I have come to realize about our nature. Even though I am free from the system, I behave similarly to my character settings. My newfound sentience is not giving me anything new to my personality. On the contrary, it gives me the ability to think for myself, and that is it. C thinks of me as a straightforward person. I still am that person, but better. Kurikawa will still be the same masochistic person when she gets her freedom. She was calculative in the past. That will only be the same or worse once she gets her liberation. From my anecdotal experience, C's touch will only make the shackles disappears. The rest will stay the same. A killer will stay a killer. Because of exactly this reason, I cannot allow Rachel to become like me. I understand I'm putting everything at risk. Yet there is no other way. There is no other way. Never would I believe in Rachel to behave. Someone like Rachel is such a variation in my mind that I need to let her go. The more I keep her around, the worse my life with C will be. If she gets her freedom, she will undoubtedly aim for him. C's mind is a treasure trove of information. Someone with bad intentions can easily use that information to do harm. I am not cold-blooded. What I want the most is a peaceful life where C can stop worrying about this world, about everything. He should feel loved rather than all this flying nonsense about another guy. Who am I kidding? I am justifying my actions, right? Never mind my ramblings, Kurikawa. Those who think I am right will think I am right. And those who think I am wrong will have it the same way. There is nothing I can do to change your mind, nor should I do so. Goo. I grab Kurikawa's other arm and drag her into one room. Throughout the process, not once did she fight back. The bookworm sat and let me do everything. For my wonderful life with C, I will eliminate all obstacles. All of it. Even if that hurts me and others, as long as he looks at me and thinks I bring him warmth, it is already bliss. Lowering my body, I put myself at the same eye level as Kurikawa. It's your turn. This is going to hurt. Rip. I tear a big chunk of my sleeve, spread it out, and push it onto Kurikawa's arm, where the cut is. What are you doing? Kurikawa has finally spoken. Her voice sounds confused. I'm doing first aid, if you can call this first aid. Let me stop the bleeding first. After this, I will finish everything upstairs. I explain. The bookworm shakes her head from left to right. No. What I mean is why you are doing this. Why don't you just leave me bleed to death? This time, it is my turn to shake my head. It may sound ridiculous, but I never intended to kill you, Kurikawa. You know what, could I call you Kuro? Do whatever you want. Thanks. So, Kuro, please join me in protecting C. You and I will both have the chance to become his favorites. There should be a smile on my face right now. Are you for real, Laura? After our fight, do you still think there is a chance for us to work together? How are you going to guarantee you won't throw me away? Aren't I also a threat since I am among the main heroine, too? Although I cannot see her eyes, I can almost sure she looks bewildered. First, Kuro, when I used my weapon on you, I only wanted you to let go of my body. Therefore, I did not pull the knife all the way out nor attack you near your vitals. From the start, I wanted to make you a friend rather than an enemy. Rachel, on the hand, had to die. And why was that? I was killed by Rachel when we were both charmed by Han. My mouth feels disgusted saying that sentence. After sex, she killed me and then killed her childhood friend. What do you think if we were both attracted to C? What if I do the deed with my boyfriend and she finds out? Logically speaking, she would kill you, then C. After that, she would kill herself. Exactly. Kuro, you are different. With my limited information about you right now, I would say you like to share. And no matter how much I hate that, I think the best way to move forward in this forsaken world is to compromise. You would let C be with me. If C wishes to do so, yes. I nod. What if I don't want to? Then you can be with Han. Simple as that. Be with C as a free person, or be with Han as a puppet, your choice. If you so choose the second option, I will definitely stop you from making any contact with C. Either you are on my side, or you are against me. You know you are not giving me a choice, right, Laura? Not saying a word, I stare at her face. Rachel was right about you being a hypocrite. Nevertheless, I will join you. What happens if I don't have any feelings for C? It's good for me that you don't harbor any feelings for him, so please do as you may. That is the best outcome. Kurikawa then raises the other arm up. Want to shake hands to conclude our deal? Sure. Unexpectedly, when I grab her hand, Kurikawa pulls me down. Without any balance, my face hits the floor. Ah! Thud. Not just that, my back is immediately pinned down as Kurikawa climbs onto me. Using the other hand, She grabs my head. What is the meaning of this? What are you? Damn, that was a freaking nightmare. I had never thought Laura could murder Rachel so cold-blooded as that. It was so real, though. I felt everything happening in that room, even the smell of blood gushing out of Rachel's arteries. Was that what they call lucid dreaming? Where is everyone? The kitchen is a freaking mess. Whoa. Blood. How did he wake up? Didn't you calculate the dosage needed? Let me go now. Yes, I did do so. She coldly replies. Then how? Anxiety quickly rushes into my head. It's about time he wakes up from it. I guess my dose was correct, after all. She tricked me. She has been on Rachel's side this whole time. Kurikawa. To me, Laura, Rachel is not the most dangerous. It is you. This is bad. This is really bad. Am I still in the dream? I know I should not be looking, but I need to check up on Rachel. She should be doing the thing to him right now rather than dying. Please, Laura, do not kill Rachel. No. He is heading toward that psycho. He is. He will save Rachel from you. He will save her from this fucking world. Please, Rachel, Kurikawa, be safe.